Yeah. Hey, 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 hey. Blue crew, yeah, we break that mold. From the first my ping to the late night stroll. Name by name, we don't miss, we don't fall. Run this shit, let the whole world know. Easy on the line, keep the vibe so tight. Sexy Cassie, cut a clown down. Midnight, mama bear, watch it like a heart on the wire. Birdie beats can be like a fuse set fire. Tomboy settle with the heart of a tight last 24 hours. I'll be holding down that flank range with the clap back clean. No stress, money, great truck, two vintage. Blue crew running shit, better know that's true. Keeping all the chaos in the bleak of view. Trolls beware, they don't ever care about you. They do it their way, their way. Blue crew running shit, make it all make sense. For the wild, wild vibes to a place I fence. If you cross that line, they'll come straight through. They do it their way, their way. Blue crew, hey. With some speeds, got a label on the car. Watching from a bar, so the fake was far. Breakdowns, hit the cold flip, unique. Moonlit baby with the late night freak roll. Bliss was chaos in the calm in the stack. Cat, cake, body geek, got the seats in the chat. Lucy Moody star with the soft ass clear leg. P, Randy first, say a word if you dare. Be a story moderating every mess. We've been in and out while they dope, while they just stay through it all day. Every green, every drag, keep the feet so clean while they live in your head. Trolls be where the better say get in. Tidy one word wrong, that's a straight implant. They don't ever flinch, don't beg, don't bend. If you come for the crew, that's the story's end. Yeah. Blue crew running shit, better know that's true. Keeping all the chaos in the clean cut view. Trolls beware, they don't ever care about you. They do it their way, their way. Blue crew running shit, make it all make sense. For the wild, wild vibe to a break stop fence. If you cross that line, they'll come straight through it. They do it their way, their way. Blue crew, blue
Welcome to the TruCrime Cafe. Woo, woo, woo. Come on in. Have a seat. Pour up a cup of truth. Yeah. Woo. Yeah, yeah. Woo. Welcome to the TruCrime Cafe. Come on in, have a seat, pour up a cup of truth. Yeah. We here pulling threads, laying them out for you. Names on the corkboard wall, red lines cutting through. Cold files on the counter, old lies in the air. Everybody got a story, we just see what's there. Seeking that justice, digging every day. Every little rumor, every word they say. Nothing but nonsense spinning around this town. We break it down, turn it all around. Welcome to the TruCrime Cafe. Come on in, sit down, press play. Pour a hot cup of truth, let it stay. We don't buy that script, they say. We're here pulling threads for you. Peeling back layers on what ain't true. Stories being sold, narrative up and down. We flip that tail, put the facts in the ground. Late night, black coffee, eyes on the page. Somebody trying to profit from somebody else's pain. Clickbait, headlines, dancing on the screen. We cut through the chat to get back to what it means. Who wins, who bleeds, who's hiding the stain, who's laughing on the way to the bank off your pain. We chase that truth like a car in the rain. If the trail go cold, we light it up again. Welcome to the TruCrime Cafe. Come on in, sit down, press play. Pour a hot cup of truth, let it say. We don't buy that script, they say. We're here pulling threads for you. Peeling back layers on what ain't true. Stories being sold, narrative up and down. We flip that tail, put the facts in the ground. Is it justice? Or just a show? Are they chasing the truth or chasing the glow in this room? We call that bluff, cause people ain't episodes that you binge and forget. Welcome to the TruCrime Cafe. Welcome to the TruCrime Cafe. Yeah. Welcome.
All right. Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. Happy weekend. I hope you're all amazing and being amazing, being beautiful, and having an amazing day because that is what you all are. It is wonderful to see you all again. Thank you so much for joining us today at the cafe. We are once again open for business. I hope everybody had a great night. It is great to be back with you guys today. Thank you so much for joining us. Please make sure to hit the like button when you come in the door, if you will, please. And share this out, guys. Today, what do the Goncalves truly know? I don't know. We don't know. Who knows? Do they know stuff? Do they not know stuff? We're going to review a video that was put out a few days ago that I found quite interesting. Take it how you will. We're going to break it down, discuss it, and whatever else we decide to do with that and get into, we're going to check it all out. So, you know how this rolls. Thank you all again for joining us. Please make sure to hit the like button. As I said, share this out. And don't forget, guys, that this is just one of two shows today. The secondary show, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this evening. I'm super excited about it. Myself, Miss Logan from Bronx Tales True Crime, Miss Kim from Typically Unique, and, of course, my awesome and amazing friend and production manager, Mikey, with The Last 24. We'll be joined by Mr. Jeffrey Gentry, crime scene specialist and expert with pathology, will be joining us tonight and breaking down a bunch of different things. So make sure you have your questions ready for that. Make sure you tune in 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You don't want to miss this one, guys. So let's get this mess moving. Here we go.
Neon lights flicker like broken halos. Whispers gather in the smoke-filled air. Tables carved with secrets and shadows. Every story's a wound laid bare. The kettle's boiling with a restless rage. Justice written on an unseen page. I sip the silence, bitter taste, waiting for the ghosts to show their face. At the TruCrime Cafe, we serve up the pain they try to hide away. Pour another cup of the truth you crave. Raise your glass to the names they betrayed. Mirrors cracked, reflections are liars. Ashes fall where the guilty once stood. The jukebox hums like a funeral choir. Echoes pounding through the neighborhood. Every scar is a candlelit vow. We hug the how, we demand the now. No more silence, no more disguise. We'll paint the night with sharpened cry. At the TruCrime Cafe, we serve up the pain they try to hide away. Pour another cup of the truth you crave. Raise your glass to the names they betrayed. This is not a sermon, it's a battlefield hymn, a requiem dripping from the bottle's rim. The guilty write stories in invisible ink, but we'll drag it all up from the edge of the grave. At the TruCrime Cafe,
All right, all right. Welcome back, everybody. Wonderful to see you again today. I hope you're all just as amazing as you were yesterday. It's wonderful to see all you, the beautiful people in here. And thank you to all the meatballs for jumping in the sauce with us and spilling this sauce. And thank you, of course, to all of my amazing moderators for taking time out of their busy lives and days to jump in here to do this. I want to once again acknowledge my production manager, Mike, with the last 24, my videographer, Molly, and everyone that is part of this amazing crew here. Couldn't do it without any of you. Thank you all for being who you are. Today, everybody, welcome, welcome. We are jumping into a video review we're going to break down, discuss in regards to, and of course, discuss it as well. But what do the Goncalves family, what do they know with what has happened with this case? What did they know? Did they know stuff before this happened? What did they know after? All of that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about that. I'm sure I'll be joined by some people that would like to discuss it. I hope. Don't leave me up here all by my little lonesome selves, but I do smell good today. No worries. Showered, all that. I don't stink. You can come up here with me. Um, so that is that, guys. So let's come on in, grab a seat, get off them feet, grab a cup, fill it up. Let's get comfortable and get into this today. It looks like we got Miss Rowe joining us. Of course, the last 24. Good to see you, Mikey. Miss Jessie Lynn, moving forward. Good to see you. Luther 75 dancing on in. Great to have you in the house today. Good to see you. Randy Purr, my brother from another mother. Great to see you, sir. Thank you for being here. Ms. Gambino, Mia, good to see you today. Thank you for joining us. Donna, 7 of 9. Eddie's in the house. One maiden not joining us today. Great to see you, brother, as always. Sweet Pea, welcome back to you. Great to see you. Also, looks like Moto Man, welcome back, brother. Always happy to have you on board. Great to see you today. Mr. O. KS Jessen in the house. Great to see you today. UK Jackie, welcome to you. Pretty much Finland, welcome to you. Great to see you today. In Stitches in the house. Welcome to you, neighbor. All right. Come on in, guys. Grab a seat and get comfortable. Miss Lisa Winchester, welcome to you. Great to see you today. Jesse Schul back again. Day number 2 in a row. Great to see you, Jesse. Always happy to have you here. Miss Arissa Roberts, welcome back to you. Great to see you. Beverly Fike, same with you. Welcome to you all. 1111 Reflection, great to see you today. Moonchild, welcome to you. Hey, hey. Let's see here. Dale Harrison, welcome to you. Marico 777, welcome to you. Pie Norman, welcome back, my friend. Always wonderful to see you. Isle of Shoals, welcome. It's been a while. Great to see you. Michelle F., welcome, welcome. Welcome to all of our friends from over the pond and our UKers, Finland, wherever you are, Thailand in the house today. We got people from all over the place. I love it. Love it, love it. Mountain Mama, good to see you today. Doc J, welcome back to you. Again, everybody, please be sure to hit that like button when you come to the door. Kick it, punch it, smack it, spit on it. I don't care what you do. Leave a little DNA there so that YouTube knows you were here today. I appreciate that. Cheryl Mims, wonderful to see you. Happy Saturday. Don Erica, welcome to you. Great to see you. I think we may review that as well. For those of you that haven't seen it, it goes along with this to some extent. We'll see how much time we have. The Brian Enton interview. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Pamela Smith, welcome to you. Mary Coleman, wonderful to have you back. Matt M. Lowe, welcome back to you. Let me see. Nichastas, I think, from another one of our friends from down under. Good to see you. Love our Aussie friends as well. It's a name I forgot to call out was Australia. We got lots of Aussie friends. Great to see you. Thank you, Mikey. Appreciate you, brother. Juror 13 in the house. Good to see you today. Mimi 422. Welcome to you. I got a question, guys. As we're waiting for the house to fill up and the seats to fill in, somebody had mentioned to me that I should take some of the stuff that I put out there music-wise and put it on Spotify. Let me ask you a question. In all reality, would you guys listen to it if I did something like that? Truly and honestly? Susan Russo, welcome to you. If you would put a one in the chat. If you don't think you would, you're not going to hurt my feelings. Don't hold back. Make it a two. Altruistic murder. Good to see you today. Luther, I get it. We'll see what happens. We might not even get there. Thank you, Randy. Please do make sure, guys, double check. And if you want to be subscribed to the cafe here, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, share it out, hit the notifiers. Sometimes people get unsubscribed from these channels. YouTube does what they do from time to time. Make sure you are subscribed if you choose to be. So check that out and make sure you hit the notifier. That way we don't miss each other when I do these things. And share it out. Let other people know what we do over here, guys. See if they'd be interested in hanging out with all you beautiful people. Miss Becca, good to see you. Pretty much Kales, welcome to you. I appreciate that. That's Miss Molly's song. The rest of the stuff, the goofy songs, the weird ones I put together, Molly made the intro song. Wendy, welcome. Senor Wazowski, good to see you, my brother. Thank you for joining us. So it looks like there's a couple ones in here. Miss Noni, Mick Poppins herself. Great to see you, dear. Thank you for joining us. Good afternoon to you. Terabusha, welcome to you. Love Another Habits, always happy to see you. Blue Devil, welcome back to you. Looks like we have 143 beautiful peeps in the house, guys. If we can, let's make the other part of that happen. 63 likes. Let's make a match if we can and get this in that algorithm, please, at least. Mindy Gillian, welcome and happy Saturday to you. Skilla, welcome back. Great to see you. Critter's in the house. What's going on, Critter? Moto, man. Great to see you, sir. Gina's Grillo, welcome to you. It's a new name. Always love seeing new names and faces, and we continue to grow day after day. That I appreciate so very much. So very much. One more time, you guys. Don't forget, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this evening, today. Myself, the lovely Miss Logan and lovely Miss Kim from Typically Unique and Bronx Tales True Crime, along with my brother Mike with the Last 24, will be joined by Mr. Jeffrey Gentry, crime scene specialist, pathologist, expert, this evening on the Verdict Room Unfiltered, as we break down some of the crazy things within the crime scene from the Idaho 4 case. You don't want to miss it. I cannot wait to ask him some of this new stuff. So make sure you are ready for that one. And tune in, please, all of you. Share it out. Let the world know what we'll be doing tonight. You don't want to miss it for sure. Cynthia Rose, welcome back to you. Good to see you. Beach Babes in the house. I hope you're feeling better, dear. And if you don't feel well, please, you don't have to be here. I hope you know that. We will be just fine. You need to rest up and get good. Take care of yourself first, always. Kathleen Bell, wonderful to see you. Kim Young, welcome back. Again, great to see you. And there again, everybody, please make sure you drop down in the bottom of your chat. There's a little circle with a square. Inside that square is a $sign. Click on that $sign. Jump into that little box there. Go in and make sure you can receive gifts, okay? There's a lot of generous people, including myself from time to time in this community, that will give out memberships, so on and so forth. And if you want one, you want to become a meatball and jump in the sauce with the rest of us, you won't be able to become one if you cannot receive gifts. So make sure you can receive gifts, because you just never know when it's going to happen. This community is so very amazing, very generous, and very caring and loving. It happens all the time. You just never know. So make sure you can. Nomadic Duckman, welcome back, brother. Good to see you. Turkey Creek's in the house. I hope you're feeling better, dear. Good to see you. Excuse me. Vivian's in the house. Welcome back, Vivian. Not anymore. I used to be years ago. I was a pretty good DJ years ago. Years ago. I know how to mix and scratch and all that fun stuff, but not no more. I'm too old for that stuff. I'm not up on the new music. I don't like the new stuff so much. I try to make stuff, but Speaking of already dropping it, 10 new memberships just dropped by Altruistic Murder. Damn. Thank you so very much. Guys, we've been in here not even a full 20 minutes, I don't think, and already. So it looks like pretty much Kales, Ms. Gambino, Kim Young, Mariko 777, Vivian P, Mr. Randy Burr, my brother, Critter, Terabusha, and pretty much Finland, as well as Just Listening, all received new memberships. Welcome to the sauce, guys. That is amazing. 10 new meatballs jumping in the sauce. Thank you so much, Altruistic. That is so very generous. So very much appreciated. And God bless. We do appreciate you so very much. Gen 7 in the house. Welcome back, Jen. Great to see you. Yes, Critter, you are now a meatball. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. By the way, since I do the music thing, it's kind of my venting, relaxation thing. If there's some type of music you would like to hear, I can try to put it together for you. Let me know. 1111. I thank you so much for that super chat and the comment. I appreciate that. Makes me feel good. Love it, love it. Thank you so much again, Altruistic. That was amazing. God bless. And welcome to all the new meatballs. Sounds great, Miss Jen. B. Wait, what is that? Bethy B to you. Bethy B to you. I think that's how you say it. Welcome to you, dear. It's great to see you. It's nice to see all that white turning green. Welcome, welcome. Yes, we may need a bigger pat. Pat. I don't know what. I turned New York for a minute. Yes, welcome to all the new meatballs. We appreciate that so much. 5 times. What are we talking about, brother? 5 times what? Did I miss something? Mama D's in the house. Welcome back, Mama D. Sorry, you guys. Yikes. Thank you again for that, 1111. The moment is gone. Okay. I got you. I don't got you, but I got you. Gina's Grillo. Good to see you today. Beth D. Oh, okay. I got you. YouTube changed it, huh? They took you back to your original handle name, is what they did. Miss Donna, thank you so much for that. Number 1 towards our goal today. 7 of 9. Miss Donna, 7 of 9, dropping at spreading the love. Happy Saturday, Sap. Same to you, dear. Thank you so much. We appreciate that so very much. It should actually be number 2. I don't know why that first one did not register as one of the goals, but it is still so very much appreciated. All right. All right. Come on in, grab a seat, get comfortable, guys. 172 peeps in the house, 92 likes, almost there. Again, what did the Goncalves know before, during, and after this catastrophe happened? And what, depending on what they do know or not know, why? What, when, where, how, and why, I guess are the questions we ask. Miss Dawn Caps, welcome back to you. There's our Leah Story. Welcome. Hope you're all having a beautiful day, because that's what you all deserve, because you are the beautiful people, truly and always. Just stay that way. Wade Bird, Miss Christine, welcome back to you. Miss Kim said, it's so interesting that you're bringing this up. I've been watching Idaho Revealed. Oh, yeah. We love Idaho Revealed over here. That family actually tampered with evidence. Interesting. Great points. We will talk about this, what we're doing today. Out by the pool. Well, it's not that great here yet, but enjoy it, Leah. You deserve it. Working hard all week. You deserve it. Michelle F., wonderful to see you. So, all right, let's do what we do here. Make sure you guys can do this. All right. The link is pinned for those of you that want to join me. Juror number 13, thank you so much for that. Again, number 2 towards our goal. I appreciate you all so very much. And by the way, thank you for anybody that chooses to support us this way. And also, if you choose to support us via the Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App, as of now, anything I get through there is going to be going directly towards records requests FOIAs to with all these new names that we have that are unredacted now, so on and so forth. And I am going to be using any bit of that I can because this stuff is not cheap to try and FOIA these things to get some answers from these interviews, so on and so forth, and other things as well. So that is the fund for now until I can set something up to collect money to get the FOIAs and everything that we need. Everybody has their, I guess you call it a hope chest that they collect on to be able to get this stuff. This is ours. So if you choose to donate Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal, just know that that is going to FOIA and records requests and things we need to get, guys. So thank you. Never expect it. Always appreciate it. Just know that. Thank you, Ms. Rowe, for that. There are the links for that. If should you choose, appreciate that. Damian Geller, good to see you. I did. Yes, I did, Wade Bird. I did hear it. They did a great interview over there, as always. I am super, by the way, for those of you that don't know, don't forget that Sunday, tomorrow, Miss Lana is doing her version of the interview with Christopher Whitcomb. I am beyond excited. I will be there front row, center to watch that. Please make sure you guys are. Oh my God, you guys. Moonlit dropping $5 towards the goal for the Purple Robe Fund. Oh Lord, Moonlit, I love your. I can't. You guys are killing me already. Too funny, too funny. But yes, I can't. I can't. Anyway, um, I lost my total train of thought. Thank you so much, Moonlit. You're an angel. I love you. Um, I don't know the exact time on Lana's interview. I'm sure we could figure it out, but we will be there for sure to support Lana and to see how Lana handles the interview with Chris. I'm sure it's going to be amazing, as is everything Lana does. Esther Hahn's in the house. Welcome. Good to see you. If anybody will do that, Esther, it will be Lana. Truly and honestly, in my opinion. Oh my God, Moonlit. In my head. Here we go. I'll find out the time somehow before we're out of here today, and I'll give you the time on it. It is Eastern time, yeah. Lana is the same place I am, same state, so it'll be Eastern. Yes, I am too. Cheryl Mims, 9 o'clock Eastern time. There we go, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Katie Coe, welcome. Good to see you. Thank you guys for that. Appreciate that. I knew one of you guys would do it. It is going to be a good one. It's going to be a banger. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting. I truly do believe. Stephen Fillmore's in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Eddie. How are you, brother?
It's good to see you today, Dago, everybody.
You as well. Always a good time with you. Always a good thing when you're here. I think most people are usually always happy to see you. And anybody that isn't, oh well, they'll get over it. So great to see you, sir.
Housekeeping real quick. An item of concern is Mike 24 says that he can't see me in the chat. Is that true? Or that I have him blocked?
I'm sure you don't have him blocked.
No, I don't know
Moto
how to
said that
block
too.
anyone. And if I did, I wouldn't
Yeah,
block
of course
anyone.
not. No, we know that.
So I don't know what he means by when he says I have him blocked. I don't know what is
I don't think that he doesn't think that you blocked him, but it's the way it shows up for that. So do me a favor, real quick. Malmestian, welcome. I love that. Type something in the chat real quick, Eddie. And when you do it, I want to know who sees him and who doesn't.
Okay, there we go.
And if it was blocked or something, it could have been an accident. People hit buttons accidentally all the time. It happens. So
Okay, because he wasn't the only one. I think someone else said that.
Moto said he
Moto
could
said
never see you either.
Right.
That's weird. Moto says he doesn't see you either.
Not because I'm blocking anybody.
No, and I get it. You didn't do it on purpose for sure if it happened. See, he says he doesn't see you in chat either. Randy says it. Moto said it. Mikey said it. So there must have been something that happened. I wonder if you're having issues with StreamYard or something because when somebody pops in or out of here, you don't hear them instantly. It's weird things going on with that.
Yeah, I
Do
agree.
you have a download of your own of StreamYard, or do you only use it when you come like up here? Oh, see, everybody's saying they don't see you in chat, bud. That's weird. Okay, you know what, Eddie? Do me a quick favor.
Okay.
Up at the top on your side chat, there should be something that says live chat and something it says top chat, live chat, things like that. And there's like a drop down. You click on that.
Okay, let me look.
Right at the very top of your chat, it should be.
No, that's not it.
Welcome, Brian Todd. Mittens, good to see you. Aurora.
I just don't see.
Suzanne Silverstein, she doesn't see you. So half the people see you, half don't. It's weird. And you know what's weird is, did you type something already in chat?
Who, me? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. And I know, like I said, I know you didn't do it on purpose, but something's going on with your stuff. Yeah, I don't see anything from you either, and a lot of people don't. Something is so off with your. It's got to be your StreamYard setup or something.
Something in my settings or something, maybe.
Yeah, it has to be, dude. That's the only thing that makes sense.
I feel fortunate that I was capable enough to get myself onto your show.
Yeah,
successfully. I mean, to me, that's a huge
you're right. Yeah,
accomplishment.
Cool. Of course.
The technical as I am with these types of things. So
I get it.
One
more time, type one more time, Eddie, in the chat. Just say hi or something real quick.
I'll type hi chat.
There you go.
There we go.
Okay, I see that one. Yeah, that's there. Damien sees it now. Something is so weird with this. It's like it picks and chooses what can be seen, and Brandy sees you now. Rogue can see you.
Yeah, and I didn't adjust any setting or click anything different.
I think, okay. Now, Blue Devil doesn't. A few do, a few don't.
Oh, wow.
It is, we'll figure it out. Jen does not.
Well, if you can't see me, it's nothing personal. I don't hide anybody.
Yeah,
or,
I get it. Something happened somewhere down the line because you're having those other issues too, bud. Like, when somebody's pops up or pops out, and all of a sudden you can't hear things and stuff. There's something going on with the StreamYard. That's all it is. So, as long as they can hear you, I guess we're good at this point for that. So we're good.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. I'll look into it and I can give you some tips on it as we go. Maybe throughout the week or something. So either way.
All right. Thanks for addressing that.
Yeah, of course. And I'm looking in my system and my settings, and there's nothing in here that it would have to be from your end of things. So I'll look into it, figure it out. We'll get it set, and you'll be good to go. So no worries for right now. Besides that, what do you have going on today? Anything new, exciting, and crazy? Anything you want to discuss before we get moving on anything?
Well, I noticed in your comments from the show that we had yesterday, someone was curious about. This would be more like a question for Jesse Schul, I guess.
Oh, okay. He was in the chat.
I'm trying to recall it to my mind the best I can. Something about Jesse said that the I want to say interview with the cat lady that lives in the 500 Queen Road apartment.
Yeah. The RAV4 lady.
Yeah. Something. What Jesse said that something was sketchy about that interview.
Yeah, he
So I
wasn't
don't
the
know
only
what that
one.
person means, and I'm not sure what Jesse said.
I think I think that's what he said. It seemed like it was sketchy. She seemed a little off when she gave the interview, possibly, because that's how I kind of took it. When she was answering questions, she just didn't seem sure of herself, I guess. That's how I was saying it. I don't know exactly what Jesse, I don't want to speak for him, but
Right. And to further complicate things, there's two interviews. We see an interview, and that's the day of, the homicide,
gotcha.
where the cop is at the door, right?
Right, right. Yeah,
And then
Jesse
there's a
said he thought that she was just overly, like, bubbly and you know what I mean? And yeah, I gathered that too, but she seemed unsure about certain things. So go ahead, Eddie. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
okay. And then there's the actual interview, but I think it's just merely a transcript at this point. No one's seen the interview, I don't think. And if they have, I don't recall
I've
seeing it. But
yeah, I've never seen.
it's the paperwork of the interview on December 2nd,
Yeah.
right? With her.
Yes. The only other thing we saw, I believe, was the body cam from the knock and talk. That was
Right.
it.
Yep. Exactly. So I wasn't sure. Whoever left the comment in your comment section, what they meant.
It would
And
have to be, yeah, it would have to be the knock and talk body cam footage because there is no other interview with her that I've seen.
because if it was that she was acting sketchy, I didn't see it. I don't have that same impression. In
Sure.
other words,
No, I get it. I get it. Maybe, like I said, he said he thought she was maybe overly happy, bubbly, so on and so forth. And some people can take that as people being fake or overdoing it, to make themselves look better than they are, maybe, or something like that. A lot of people have said things like that in the past. So not for
yeah,
her, but just in general.
yeah, and people can have exact opposite reactions or
Yeah,
feelings about something, and their takeaway of something like, well, the fact that she's standing outside means she's got something to hide. But then there's the people where, like Annie Wilkes invites the sheriff in Misery into the house.
right, right.
Like if you're truly guilty, then she would have invited the person in. So I mean, it's like
Absolutely.
whether no matter how a person acts, they're going to look guilty to somebody.
Yeah, everybody, and like you said too, everybody kind of takes things differently. So I just felt like she seemed, my personal opinion in the knock and talk video, she seemed a little unsure of some of the things that were being said, like she was hesitating and stuff like that, which doesn't have to mean anything. It's just my take on it. So either way, um, let me check something here. Yeah, we'll check into that too, Crud Dog, since that's new. Thank you for the info. Gail, good to see you. Nomadic Duck again. Itty Bitty Poofs in the house. Good to see you. And I'm curious if they did another interview with her, ever, which I will look into that as well. Was she wearing leggings? I have no idea, Nomadic. Um, I did see that, Donna. Um, Gulf Coast, good to see you. Damien again, welcome. Whit James, welcome. All right. So the first thing we're gonna do is yeah. Jesse says in his belief to summarize that her answers were not met with the appropriate questions. So I got you. Micro Blue, Annie Wilkes. I like that you chose that one, Eddie. That's one of my favorite stories by Stephen King. I'm a huge Stephen King fan. So, and I will pull that other thing. We'll review that as well. No worries. All right. Lola Getz, welcome to you. All right, guys. Give me 1 second here. And let me check this. Okay. All right, so the video we're going to review and discuss, the first one it's from 3 days ago. And it was put out by True Crime Design. For those of you who aren't familiar, the link is in the chat. Please make sure to hop over, subscribe to her channel. She does some interesting stuff for sure. And Miss Christina, welcome. Good to see you. And there is the link right there. It's an interesting video, and I don't watch everything that gets put out, but somebody sent it to me and said, "This is interesting." I went and checked it out, and I said, "This is interesting." It definitely was interesting. So I'm really curious to. Oh, I did altruistic long time ago. No worries. Very curious to see what your guys' reaction to this is. As I've stated many times, we're a commentary channel. We commentate on different things, so on and so forth, break things down, research, all that other, a little bit everything. But my biggest thing is your guys' opinions and feelings on things. That's why I always do things the way I do. So I'm definitely curious as to, especially Eddie, Jesse, all you guys, what your feelings and thoughts are when we see and hear this. So again, the link is in the chat. This comes from True Crime Design. If you haven't seen it, we're going to do this right now. So anything else, Eddie, before we get bumping on this?
Nothing so far.
All right. Let's check it out. Angie B., good to see you today, dear. All right. And 1 minute. Here we go.
Really true. I said this, she's a pretty girl. Her friends are really pretty. So.
Sorry about that.
A lot of people have been wondering if Kaylee had a stalker, if that was really true. I said this, she's a pretty girl. Her friends are really pretty. So them attracting attention was pretty common wherever they went. So I think she attracted attention, whether that's a dedicated person following her around, maybe not. I do believe that the officers looked in it, and I believe what they said, that there was no evidence there.
Kayla was outside taking Murphy out, and she saw a shadow.
Yep, okay.
And then when Kitty was at Winco, Zane was in the car. She noticed this guy was following her. She got what she was getting, put it in the car, and she could see in her mirror that the guy was behind her in the car.
Okay.
So obviously he was trying to follow her. And then that was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then about a week ago, our door is broken, but me, Maddie, and Bo came home and the door is wide open. And obviously, yes, the door is broken, but that could also be something else as well.
So I talked with a detective yesterday, and told him about a lunch that Kaylee and I went to, and she mentioned having a stalker.
Once though, Kaylee said when everyone was gone, me and we were at the sorority house for a meeting, and it was only Kaylee, and she was taking Murphy out. This was a while ago, and she said she swears she saw someone staring at her while she was taking the dog out. And I know that Kaylee, a month ago, saw a dark figure staring at her in the woods when she took her dog Murphy out to go pee. And I don't know, that apartment's always giving me bad vibes. And we always we didn't joke about there being a stalker, but we were seriously, there's been countless times that we've been just scared because we hear things or.
One of them more or less openly says, "Oh yeah, we've had a friend of ours be stalked before. So this is kind of why we all travel in a group like this." And just
was it Kaylee who said that? Do you remember?
No, it was Maddie who actually said that. So Maddie said it, and it was kind of more mentioning motioning to Kaylee too, who was right next to her. So you could tell that they obviously all were trying to keep Kaylee safe, and to be there for her as good friends.
Did Kaylee ever talk to you about a potential stalker?
She did.
She did.
Sometimes she would contact us and say, "You won't believe this guy was following me around. It felt weird."
it was never used like, hey, I have a stalker, like this ongoing thing. She goes, I went through the self-checkout. I noticed this person in the self-checkout kind of behind me.
Okay. I'm going to stop it here for a quick second and bring something up. Do you guys remember? Eddie might, because he's very good at that. I don't know exactly when, but there was an interview that came out very early on in this, okay? And it was about a stalker. And it was with the Goncalves family. I'm pretty positive that's what it was. And they said, we've never heard anything like that. I'm pretty sure she would have told us that she was being stalked by somebody, but we never heard it. Even Olivia was in that one, I believe, and said, we've never heard that before. Do you remember that, Eddie? Or am I?
Vaguely.
But you do slightly remember that, right? Okay.
Yeah, slightly do.
But I know I'm not crazy, but it's been years, folks. Literally years. So I'm just trying to remember. Okay, Meanie does remember pretty much 4 a.m. Okay, so it's not just me. All right, and Eddie even vaguely. Okay, so this is 3+ years ago, but it was very early on. One of the first things that came out. Very interesting. Now, as we get this, that's all I'm saying. Thank you, Gail. And G Bean, welcome to you. So that's another situation here where things are changing. The truth doesn't change. End of story. Okay, a story can change. A lie will change. The truth doesn't change. Remember that, okay? On we go.
She's a pretty girl. Her friends were really pretty, so them attracting attention was pretty common wherever they went. So I think she attracted attention. Whether that's a dedicated person following her around, maybe not. I do believe that the officers looked in it, and I believe what they said, that there was no evidence there.
As you can see, there was plenty of lay evidence produced in the first week after the murders that proves this statement by Steve G to be false. And you can clearly tell from his body language that he doesn't believe a word he's saying. I find it very suspicious that Steve and his family would consistently undermine and publicly misrepresent the valid anxiety his daughter was experiencing concerning her safety in the weeks and months leading up to her murder. These are not rumors based on speculation, as Brian Enton described them, but rather a series of documented incidents described by the victim herself and corroborated by a variety of witnesses who interacted with Kaylee from September to November 13th, 2022. By the end of this video, you will arrive at the inescapable conclusion that this young woman was being contacted, watched, followed, and even had her residence broken into.
Thank you, Sluther. Very much appreciated, dear. God bless. Thank you. Oh, thank you pretty much at 4 a.m. Awesome. Thank you. I will pull that next.
During the lead up to her murder. Public statements made to the media over the years, as well as new revealing information that continues to come out in the form of police reports and witness statements, reveal a pattern of targeted and menacing behavior towards Kaylee that is consistent with stalking and intimidation tactics often used by organized crime groups. When laid out in chronological order, it becomes clear as day that the stalking behavior escalated in severity from approximately September 2022 up to the date of the homicides in mid-November. This pattern suggests a degree of planning and sophistication involved in these murders. This was calculated, instrumental violence. Nothing about these murders were spontaneous. The fact that this pattern was ignored and why it was concealed by investigators should concern everyone, especially the Goncalves family. Instead, they chose to misrepresent their daughter's state of mind to best suit the narrative they wanted to portray. They were intent on denying the ongoing nature and downplaying the severity of Kaylee's concerns when we have documentation of numerous corroborated incidents on record proving that she was stalked and targeted. Forensically, Kaylee's murder stands out from the other 3 victims in that she suffered extensive blunt force and asphyxial injuries that were major contributors to death in addition to multiple fatal sharp force injuries. She had a severe scalp laceration, a broken nose, 2 black eyes, punctures to the outer table of the skull, bleeding around the brain, and injuries to the tongue and teeth. Patterned bruising extending across the lower face were present, indicating that she was restrained with a gag or tape over her mouth. She had hemorrhaging in the chest cavity, petechial hemorrhaging in the eyes and mouth, and hemoaspiration with blood in the upper and lower airways. This is all evidence of torture. Aspiration and asphyxiation occurs when a victim is beaten or restrained while bleeding internally. Moreover, blood in the airways indicates that the victim was actively breathing while they were bleeding from injuries to the face, mouth, or throat. She was alive during this brutal assault. Steve was absolutely correct when he said their points of damage don't match, as the other 3 victims' injuries are from a sharp edge weapon consisting of stab wounds, incised wounds, and perforations of major arteries. Though irrefutably violent and brutal, there is no evidence of blunt force trauma or restrained torture in the murders of Xana, Maddie, or Ethan, in contrast with Kaylee's murder. The forensic evidence, as well as the lay evidence, is clear that Kaylee Goncalves was singled out and targeted. To prove this assertion, I'm going to walk you through a couple incidents that are described in the record, adding my own details and context that I have independently uncovered through investigating the social and criminal environment surrounding these victims prior to their murders. Once the foundation for my argument is laid, I will explain why I believe Kaylee's family continues to undermine the relevance of these incidents, dismissing their ongoing, repetitive, and targeted nature. I think you will agree that their odd behavior starts to make sense in the context of a coordinated self-preservation effort and guilty knowledge about the type of murder this was. The first reports of stalking incidents in the record begin with a lunch that Kaylee attended with 5 other girls on September 11th, 2022. This wasn't a particularly close group of friends. In fact, one of the girls who tagged along that day was a WSU student who had only met Kaylee on that day, if that gives you a sense of the dynamics of the conversation that occurred at that lunch. A young woman named Rachel Rager called Moscow police on November 15th because she believed the information Kaylee had shared at lunch that day to be relevant to their investigation. The full audio of this call and other witness statements will be linked in the description. The caller, Rachel, knew—
Miss Leah, do me a favor, hunt, and check the Discord real quick. Thank you. Sluther, thank you so much for that. God bless. We should be hitting that goal here pretty quick. You guys are amazing. As always, so very generous, and God bless. We do appreciate you. Scully's in the house. Gang, gang. Good to see you, brother. On we go. And moving forward, Miss Jessie. Thank you again, Sluther. Very much appreciated, dear.
Kaylee, but wasn't as close with her as 2 of the other girls at lunch that day, Cassidy Wood and Bailey Dempster, as they were in the Alpha Phi sorority with Kaylee. Rachel also gave investigators the contact information for a girl named Jordan Quisnell, another Alpha Phi who was close with Kaylee. Jordan and Cassidy were both contacted and interviewed. Jordan, Cassidy, and Kaylee were kind of a trio, but these 2 girls graduated the semester prior. They did visit Kaylee in Moscow on the—
All right, y'all. Looks like it's Jesse saying confetti. We hit our goal. You guys are amazing. God bless. So very much appreciated. Love to all of you. I can't believe we did that fast. Thank you so much, guys. Truly and honestly, thank you. All right. And on we go.
The weekend of October 2nd for a Vandal football game, but they didn't think she had brought up the stalker situation at that time, which actually checks out, as most witnesses reported the incidents began approximately 3 weeks to a month prior to the homicides, putting most of these incidents at around mid to late October. Cassidy did remember the stalker conversation from the September 11th lunch that Rachel spoke of, but she couldn't remember any specific information to add to Rachel's report. Jordan, who again was absent from lunch, also vaguely recalled Kaylee talking about a stalker. She added that the contact could have started as early as May of the semester prior. Now, I don't necessarily believe that these girls have additional information about the murders. That is, with the exception of Bailey Dempster. Bailey was the only one at lunch that day who was still attending UI in the fall of 22. And from what I can deduce from redactions, I believe she also lived in one of the houses on King Road. However, there doesn't appear to be an interview of her in the police reports. It's strange that MPD would either choose not to interview Bailey or fail to disclose it to the public. Venmo transactions throughout October show that Bailey and Kaylee were hanging out the month prior to her murder, and throughout the period that Kaylee was nervous about having a stalker. Bailey even made the friends list on Kaylee's handwritten "Things I Value" note, suggesting a personal proximity and potential insight into Kaylee's life that could have been valuable information. At a minimum, MPD should have contacted Bailey to see if she could corroborate or add additional information to what was discussed at lunch on September 11th. It's also extremely noteworthy that Bailey Dempster's name is present on the defense witness list. What information did Bailey have that the defense found potentially exculpatory to Brian Koberger? It must have been additional, likely more crucial and specific information that wasn't discussed at lunch because none of the other girls appeared on the witness list. Thanks to Rachel Rager, we have the first reports of an outside source contacting the victim dating back to approximately September 11th.
I know that she received something, and I can't remember if it was through the mail or through the phone, but talking with some friends, it might have been through Facebook Messenger. But we cannot remember, like, absolutely for sure where it was from.
Rachel's claims that Kaylee talked about receiving strange messages through Facebook Messenger could have easily been refuted or corroborated by data that is in MPD's possession, as a search warrant was served to Facebook. Moreover, I found the comment about Kaylee receiving something in the mail to be interesting, considering this statement from the Goncalves parents given to Fox News on December 4th, 2022.
Y'all get an update from the police about the investigation?
There was nothing. We have no updates for you.
There was no update. They needed me to sign a waiver form so that they could investigate something.
Some mail.
That was mail related. So we're working with them. We're not selling them out. Investigate something.
Some mail.
That was mail related.
Something mail related, huh? Interesting. In her police interview, Bethany tells us about how Kaylee also felt like she was being watched, having noticed a strange figure in the dark.
Now, I will tell you, I have always, from the first time I heard that whole thing about the mail thing, I've always been curious. I've always wondered why. What is it? The mail thing is something, folks. Truly, it is. It's in my head, and it's swimming around, doing the backstroke all over my brain because I can't. When I watched this, it kicked it right back into gear for me. I had wondered about it before when we heard about it. You know, other things come up and go down the road, and it kind of overlays it, and you forget about it. Welcome, Estes. Good to see you, sir. But again, this has always been interesting to me as to what. So.
While she was taking Murphy out to pee in the backyard. These concerns were corroborated by Dylan and Jenna McClure in their initial interviews as well. Reports indicate this began in mid-October, about a month prior to the murders. I found Jenna's statement interesting, as she said the house had bad vibes and described hearing noises in the house on countless occasions. She also specifically mentioned the individual staring at Kaylee from the tree line in the backyard. Looking at crime scene photos of the backyard, there are plenty of spots where someone...
Welcome, Ms. Tandy. I'm going to tell you guys something else, too. One thing I'm sure of. Whoever this person or persons... because we don't know that this is just one specific person. I will say to you that I do not believe, nor will I ever, unless you show me a damn video of him standing here. This was never Brian Koberger. Never. Okay? Never. So whoever these people or this person was, it wasn't him. And I know that that's known. They know it's not. I truly feel in my soul that they know who this person may have been. Truly and honestly, I'll just say that, okay? So, that's my feeling on that.
Could park their car and hide amongst the trees with a full view of the backyard and backside of the house, directly into Kaylee's bedroom, like something straight out of a horror film. The Queen Road parking lot, and specifically this little dead end behind the house that is technically considered Queen Road, were crucial, in my opinion, during the planning and execution of these murders. Kaylee posted this well-known, wholesome TikTok on October 18th, 2022, which is during the time period where she reported to her friends that she was being watched, specifically while taking the dog out at night. This date also aligns with a well-known disturbing incident concerning a dog that occurred nearby. 3 weeks before the murders, 3 days after that TikTok video with Murphy was posted, and 3 miles away from the crime scene, a mini Australian shepherd named Buddy was taken from his family's property in Moscow on October 21st, 2022. The poor dog was found the next day, skinned, filleted, and had its neck cut, leaving fur only on the legs and face. Officials determined that this was the result of human activity. However, no follow-up or any conclusions about what happened to Buddy were ever made known to the public. Despite failing to investigate this incident, MPD were quick to make it known that this act of cruelty is not related to the murders.
I agree, Jess.
Cartels and criminal gangs often use public displays of violence to intimidate rivals, government officials, and the general public to maintain control, demand compliance, and mark territory. This practice of leaving mutilated bodies in public spaces is commonly known as corpse messaging, and its function is to create fear, display brutality, signal control, and punish suspected informants. I speculate that there also may be a ritualistic component to the animal cruelty displayed here. The Omerta prison gang is a white supremacist gang that is believed to practice Odinism, which, as we know from the Delphi case, is basically a bastardized version of Norse paganism, popularized in American prisons by whites-only gangs. Specifically, one of Omerta's founders, a man named Brandon Gerner, shot a horse in the head as a sacrifice to Odin after his friend, Cody Olson, was killed in a police shootout. Quick side note on the Omerta gang's ideology. Steve's brother, Nathan Goncalves, is a career criminal who was convicted of murder in Skamania County about a year and a half before the quadruple homicide. Here is an image of Steve's brother, Kaylee's uncle, giving a lecture about the National Socialism movement at Clark College in Vancouver, Washington in 2010. Goncalves can be seen sporting a swastika as he defended his, quote, white and proud beliefs. Given this photographic evidence, I'd say it's not a stretch to say Kaylee had neo-Nazis or white supremacists with criminal associations in her family, strengthening the connection to this particular drug trafficking entity. Are you beginning to see how the dots are starting to connect here? Back to Buddy. I believe this local incident of animal cruelty against Buddy the dog was a warning to Kaylee, given the timeline and context of events, i.e. during an intensifying DEA investigation called Operation Last Mile. While this may seem like a stretch, I'll also remind you of a similarly brazen and unusual incident that occurred on UI's campus in mid-February 2017, when 4 sorority and fraternity houses woke up to find bloodied and mangled bodies of coyotes on their front doorsteps, with blood even smeared on the windows. Targeted houses included both Alpha Phi and Pi Beta Phi, the houses that the female victims were members of. Coincidence? Maybe. But both unsolved incidences
Trigger warning. Trigger warning. Video includes sensitive and violent content that may not be suitable for all viewers. This video is for 18 plus only. Trigger warning. Trigger warning. This video is
Human-inflicted animal
sensitive
cruelty can be connected to Kaylee, which I find significant. Moreover, the timing of the coyote incident reaffirms my suspicions that these are, in fact, drug-related acts of corpse messaging, intended to terrorize the community, specifically Frat Row, into silence. This incident occurred in the middle of a massive DEA investigation in eastern Washington, Idaho, and Montana that lasted from September 2016 to December 2017 when the indictments were returned. The incident happened in mid-February 2017, which I will also note is when the Delphi murders occurred, raising an interesting possibility of animal sacrifice ritual significance. Just like the Idaho 4 atrocity and the mutilation of Buddy, there's a pattern here that is highly unusual for a college campus, unless that campus is located on a major drug trafficking route in a town where officials and law enforcement consistently look the other way to protect reputation, university enrollment rates, and presumably dark money funding that keeps the town running. That's called narco corruption, people, and it's why these kids keep winding up dead in Moscow and police have zero explanation for any of it. On that note, let's look at what the Aryan family / Omerta drug trafficking organization was up to during this time. On the very same day that Kaylee posted that TikTok, members of the Gill cell, including Bryson Gill, Michael Slocum, Isaac Cervantes, and Michael Warren, left their stash house in Shelton and made their way towards eastern Washington. We know this because the DEA had been tracking their phones for the last month. The 4 subjects were traveling together on their way to stock up in Phoenix, Arizona. Interestingly enough, they took the long way, making a stop in Boise, Idaho on October 19th. Boise, Idaho is a rather interesting location in this case, and it happens to be a drug trafficking hotspot where the Idaho gang, the Aryan Knights, are primarily located. I have to wonder if these importers from Tacoma met with their Idaho distributors, putting them on alert that the feds were on their tail. We know that Gill & Co. at a minimum had connections with Nicholas Mowich, as they were captured on video attending his funeral in Lewiston on December 3rd, 2022. If Gill & Co. did not know that the feds were actively tracking them, then they at least had to have been put on alert, as the DEA had already made a mass indictment in the SeaTac area the month prior on September 19th. My theory here is that Gill instructed the gang members to put their subordinates, aka local dealers and college students, namely the fraternity and sororities, on alert by any means necessary. Grisly acts of animal cruelty and gang stalking can serve as powerful nonverbal means of communicating a threat. And I believe the message was received loud and clear because Kaylee got the hell out of Dodge. She left Moscow during this time.
All right, I'm going to pause this for a quick second so I can fix something. Anything, kind of give it a break for a minute. Is there anything, Eddie? So sorry, you guys, going to clear my throat. Any comments or feelings or anything before we go forward with this?
Nothing to add.
Nothing yet? Okay. Just like to check because I know sometimes it can get down the road and then it was too late. So no worries. No worries at all. All right, guys, 1 second. And again, thank you all for joining us and listening in on this. This is kind of interesting in a lot of aspects. So, all right, 1 minute. Sorry, everybody. Okay. And all right, that's what I thought. There was a little bit of a technical issue anyway, so I got that working. We're good. On we go. Sorry about that.
Only to essentially be lured back for her murder on November 11th. There's another disturbing incident described repeatedly by multiple witnesses that occurred during this time, where menacing behavior specifically targeting Kaylee escalated from being watched to actually being followed in public. Dylan placed this incident at about 2 or 3 weeks before the murders, which is corroborated by the vape shop guy, putting us at approximately mid to late October. Kaylee was purchasing a case of White Claws for Xana at the Winco, a local grocery store in Moscow. Xana, who was under 21, was waiting for her in the car. In a police report summarizing her interview.
Now, something I'm going to say about this portion we're jumping into real quick. I'm going to pause this and discuss this just for a minute. Welcome, Tomboy. Good to see you. Loving it up as well. And Dylan's in the house. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. So, as they're about to explain, Kaylee's in the Winco, Xana's in the car. And I saw somebody in chat say this a little bit ago. This person, there's actually two people that I don't know that everybody heard this, not just one. There's one person that was in the store following Kaylee around the store, but another person that was outside waiting. Okay. Were they following Kaylee or were they following Kaylee and Xana? That's the question that I have as well. No worries, buddy. I'm glad you're here with us. This is an interesting point. And why were we not initially told that there were two people, not just one, is another question I have with this. So,
that
ahead,
thing
bud.
that you have up that you're reading, what is that from again?
I think this was the document where they explained in the documents. I can't remember which one it was for sure, but when they told the story about Kaylee being stalked at the Winco, followed around, and then the guy followed her out to the car. She hurried up and threw I think it was White Claws, into the car and shut and locked the door, and they took off. So this is the document itself. I can't remember if this was one of the Moscow supplemental docs or the ISP docs. It came from one of the two sets of documents, though, if you know what I mean. The reports that we got, the supplemental reports, A11. But yeah, that's what this came from. This document here, I'm sorry. And again, I don't know how many of you knew. Did you know that, I know you remember this part, Eddie, but did you know that there were two people, not just one, that was there that day following her around?
Well, that's why I'm asking, because I'm still confused. This excerpt, do we know the date and who was it? Is it an excerpt of someone being questioned?
No, this was I'm trying to remember. It was a cut from a report, one of the supplemental reports. And again, I'm sorry, I don't remember if it was the Moscow supplementals or the ISP supplemental reports. But it might have been an interview. It might have been an interview. I don't know exactly who it was. I'll look into. In fact, hold on.
Because my question obviously becomes: do we take that as fact? I mean,
well, it was talked about by everybody, and then including families. So, but here's the problem: there was never, ever a police report filed on this. So, this is something I've always had issues with. Ed, is that if it's that serious, why did you not file a police report on this? The G's knew about it. They talked about it in an interview. Almost every interview we heard, Eddie, they talk about this situation at the Winco with everybody. That this was, but it's all hearsay. It all came from the group here, and that's how everybody knew about it. If that makes sense. With no police report, sir.
Right.
And the fact that there's no police report, and maybe some of you guys don't think it's a big deal. To me, that kind of bothers me. I'm okay, and
Sure,
I've always
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, with my daughters, for instance. Okay, I've always told them, if you ever have issues, make sure that there is a police report filed. That way, if something happens in the future, you already have it on record. You know what I mean? And there was no police report for any of these situations ever. Whether it's the people staring from the tree line, the Winco situation, the house being opened up with the washer running, all that, none of that ever happened. There was never reports filed. Sorry. It kind of bothers me a little bit is all I'm saying. So, no, I understand, Witchy. I do. Truly, honestly, I understand. A lot of people don't do that. But there were so many instances that went on with this. At some point, when do you take it serious enough to file a report on it? Or at least tell the police, we know Moscow doesn't do any reports, but let the police know, hey, this has been happening. But they never did. Never. They laughed it off in some senses. So, I don't know. Um,
Yeah, it's
it's
just one of yet another portion of the investigation where we can only go so far with it.
yeah, of course.
We
Yeah,
can kind of theorize a little bit, but it's not going to get any traction. It can't go anywhere. It's just it'll never
exactly.
develop beyond us theorizing something.
100%. I mean, there was multiple interviews with friends like Kayla Wynn and Jenna McClure and all these other people. I truly do understand altruistic. I get it. I do. I know. I was a young guy too, and I myself saw girls when I would be at the mall or something and would stare and say, "Oh my god," things like that. I get it. The question with this is we're about to hear the more of this. It'll explain a little bit more and give a little bit of an insight into to a couple possibilities. But there's multiple based on the interviews with everybody. There's multiple incidences where Kaylee's either out walking Murphy and there's somebody in the tree line staring at her. This happens here. I mean, there was multiple things going on where people are saying there's something weird going on with this house. They go home one day and the washer's on, the door's wide open. They get golf clubs, go through the house. At some point, I would imagine that if you feel uncomfortable, you would contact 911 or the police and say, "Hey, I feel something's not right." Yeah, and Murphy disappearing, yes, Mittens, and maybe just once file a report or something, but it never happened. So, and I know what everybody in the chat was saying. I understand. I do. I have 2 daughters, and they've explained the same thing to me too. Like, Dad, there's guys that have followed me around this, that way, especially my oldest daughter, because she's covered in tattoos and looks a little wild. So she's an eye catch. You know what I mean? So I get it. I get it. But
Dago, I know, from observing and experience throughout this case that people have a tendency, myself included. It's not fault finding here, just observing.
Of course.
That we have a tendency, that everything means something. No matter what you see, it means something, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying. I think everyone knows what I'm saying. And
especially with this case.
Yeah. And not everything is connected and not everything means something.
Of course.
What brings it to my mind is reading into the types of wounds. This content creator mentioned, Kaylee's wounds and how they're different and therefore possibility that she's the target. But, are we overlooking something more simple that could explain it? Something random, such as, okay, so the bad guy went into the crime scene intending to, commit a homicide in this manner, using these methods, but little did that perpetrator know, but people fight back.
Right.
And
right.
something went awry and got out of hand, and now it's just reduced to, instead of you intentionally trying to, commit murder this way, you just use whatever means are available and you reach for whatever you got, whatever.
Yeah.
Quick to grab, and you finish the work with, in a manner where even surprised yourself, right? So
Sure.
Then someone investigating, looking at that later, might interpret it an entirely different way. Like, oh, there's something to be read into these types of injuries where the person committing the crime is just, there's nothing meant by it. It's just random.
Right.
Just whatever it took to finish it off. So to my point is, it's hard to, to limit ourselves to not get too committed to one theory or another, because it could, end up causing you to be closed-minded, because if you're wrong with what you believe with that theory, it kind of closes the door to seeing the right, or seeing something else that could lead to the actual truth.
Gotcha. Absolutely. Absolutely makes perfect sense, sir. Fully understood too. Welcome, Brian. All right. Well, very good point, as I will say. And it could be, well, shit, what did I do? There it is. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Like Meanie said, 100%, Eddie. 100%. I fully agree with that. All right. Anything else to add, sir?
No, moving on.
All right. And this is going to be interesting here. Pay attention to this up and coming part, guys.
Bethany recounted how Kaylee described the male following her in the store as African American and in his late 20s, a rather specific description given that Moscow, Idaho's demographics indicate a Black or African American.
Now, I have to stop again because this is Bethany's description. I'm sorry, but I struggle a slight bit with Bethany having that specified description. Bethany wasn't there. It was Xana and Kaylee that were there. If they saw this person, if this happened, so we're to imagine that Kaylee went home and told Bethany, I was followed in Winco by an African American male that was in his late 20s. That's a little strange to me, maybe. I can't hear those words being said, is what I'm trying to tell you. So this is just my opinion, folks. Don't think I'm being mean or weird, mean or nasty or anything. I'm just saying I struggle with this, okay? That's all. Just saying that.
Population of less than 2%. It couldn't have been too difficult for MPD to identify the individual in the store. Just a shot in the dark here, but could that Black male possibly be Demetrius Robinson, whose name has been discussed in connection with this case for years, and for good reason? Demetrius, as we know, is Emma Bailey's handler, pimp, boyfriend, whatever you want to call him, and a prominent drug dealer with connections to the Seattle drug world, coupled with a violent criminal history and a reputation for engaging in intimidation tactics just like this. But there's actually more to this incident that a detective inadvertently blurted out in an audio interview with Dylan Mortensen on December 30th, after they were well on their way to arresting Brian Koberger, because investigators did in fact acquire surveillance footage from this incident and determined that there were actually two individuals stalking Kaylee at the Winco, one in the store and one waiting for her in the parking lot.
There was an incident. We looked into it. We got footage, and yes, there were two men that
Was
were.
it the Winco?
Yeah.
Okay, because I remember she had told me she came home and she was like, "You guys need to be safer." She was like, Xana was in the car. She had gone in storage. I think she was getting alcohol. And she's the kind of girl that's very aware of her surroundings. And I remember her saying one guy. Maybe there's two, but from what I remember, her saying one.
Yeah, that's my fault. I shouldn't have said two, but there were actually two. Okay. There was one actually trailing and one out in the parking lot.
Yeah, I remember she noticed and she was walking out and she realized the person behind her didn't have anything. So when she got to the car, she threw everything on Xana, locked the door, and someone was behind. Like she could see her mirror behind the car.
This unnerving incident was inexcusably brushed off by investigators and the Goncalves family, despite Kaylee telling them about this very incident. But yeah, let's continue to chalk it up to Kaylee attracting attention because she's a pretty girl, dismissing any possibility that she was intentionally and repeatedly targeted. As we make our way into November, the stalking behavior once again escalated, this time beyond the point of receiving strange messages or being watched and even followed in public. In their post-homicide interviews, the roommates would describe an incident that happened on approximately November 4th, when Dylan, Bethany, and Maddie returned home from a sorority meeting around 11 p.m. to find their front door was left wide open. Kaylee was not in Moscow at the time. Like I said, I think it's quite possible that the incidents from October scared her enough to leave the college town before Dylan lured her back for Pi Phi Formal on the weekend of her murder. Consistent with the pattern of negligence shown by MPD, this incident was flippantly dismissed as due to wind gusts or loose screws, as if a possible break-in to the residence just 9 days prior to a burglary turned quadruple homicide wasn't at all significant or worth further investigation. The report also mentioned that Xana's dad fixed the issue before leaving Moscow that weekend, but early media reports stated that Jeff Kernodle fixed the lock, not the screws and hinges. Investigators felt comfortable dismissing this incident, but the roommates who actually lived at the residence were clearly nervous upon finding their front door open when nobody was home, as anyone would be. So much so, in fact, that the girls all grabbed golf clubs, presumably out of that first floor bedroom, and cleared the house to make sure nobody was inside. The targeted harassment of Kaylee Goncalves and the 1122 King Road residents reached a crescendo on November 13th when the perpetrators set their plan into motion. This pattern of stalking the victims would continue up into the very last moments they were alive, as we can clearly see that Kaylee and Maddie were being watched and their location tracked that night by CCTV footage and strategically placed handlers. We don't have to speculate whether the Goncalves family knew about these fears, as Steve admitted to ABC News anchor Kana Whitworth in an interview on November 30th that Kaylee told them about having a stalker. So why did they start undermining this notion just a few weeks later when they sat down with Brian Enton in their living room? Kaylee's big sister Olivia also attempted to create doubt and distance from the stalker angle early on, a theory she would later embrace when she could attribute, without evidence, the reported stalking behavior to Brian Koberger in her histrionic and frankly bizarre victim impact statement. In a CNN interview from November 23, 2022, Olivia expressed frustration with the rumors that Kaylee had a stalker. Quote, "She dismissed claims her sister was being stalked, echoing a statement made Tuesday by police that they have not been able to identify or verify a stalker," end quote. In this same article, Olivia noted that Kaylee was extremely safety conscious and vigilant, and that she thinks that Kaylee would have noticed something. Well, guess what, Olivia? She did notice that she was being stalked, and your parents, and I believe you as well, were aware of this, even though your sister had you blocked on social media. And I don't think it had to do with borrowed clothing, as you tried to tell the public later in the same article. So again, I ask, why go to such lengths to posthumously gaslight the victim? Their protests against these facts in the face of such glaring information that their daughter was in a dangerous environment is puzzling, to say the least, and in my opinion, would lead any reasonable person to conclude that they have information pertaining to this stalker subject that they do not want the public or law enforcement to become aware of. It's telling that during the early days following the homicide.
Now, once again, I want to stop because I want to point something back out to you guys again that we know already. Kate, I don't know why, okay? I don't know exactly why it was going on or whatever it was, but Kaylee was estranged from her family at some point, okay? Before this happened. And she had blocked her siblings on her social media platforms. She wasn't talking to her parents at that point. When she went home, she was staying with her aunt, not her family, not her parents, you know. So I don't know how that plays into this, if it does at all, but it is definitely very interesting to know, knowing this, okay? So there's that as well to remember while we're listening to this.
Before an arrest was made and the narrative was still in the production phases, the G family and the media were quick to report on the stalking angle, and it makes sense why they would do so when the public was eagerly demanding answers as to why this tragedy happened. At some point, however, Everyone involved in this cover-up decided that they were going to have to attribute the murders to a single individual, motivated by his own psychological and sexual desires. This was a strategy to keep the organized crime aspect of this case and the criminal histories of the victims' families away from the public's awareness.
You have a motive. We don't.
Idaho law does not require that prosecutors prove a motive, so this wasn't something they were ever too concerned with, legally speaking. As long as they could lock someone up and stigmatize his autistic and what some might characterize as obsessive behaviors, they could bombard the public consciousness with propaganda until most people believed their suspect had the means and opportunity to commit the crime. They could intimidate him with the prospect of the death penalty and coerce him into a plea deal. This meant that there would be no trial and that none of this information would ever come to light and everyone could just move on with their lives. But after an exhaustive investigation into their chosen patsy, Brian Koberger, and failing to turn up any shred of a connection to the victims or the mere suggestion of a convincing motive, they were left with no choice but to publicly abandon the stalking angle, which really was the only conceivable motive for their narrative. The only problem is, those initial accounts still exist as documented proof of Kaylee's state of mind. So those with skin in the game and their damage control agents went on TV and made confident statements to the contrary, expecting that the gullible masses wouldn't dare question their authority. The same thing happened when MPD came out early to say these murders were targeted attacks, only to sort of backtrack on that and never give any information as to who was the target or why. This is exactly why attorneys tell criminals to shut their mouths and not make any statements to the media, because evidence could later come out to discredit you and make you look guilty as hell.
Hi everyone, my name is Kaylee Goncalves and I am a general studies major. I recently switched from elementary education because I was unable to student teach. I'm from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, which is about an hour and a half north of Moscow, and I really enjoy taking my dog on walks, hikes, adventures, really anything and everything I like to do with my dog. I don't have a dream job in mind, but the strengths that I feel could help me achieve a job that I would enjoy are my people and collaboration skills. I work really well with other people. I'm a really good communicator. And on the contrary, I also do work really well independently.
Miss Kaylee Jade was a truth teller and a truth seeker. Perhaps this is why I cannot let her voice continue to be ignored, distorted, and lost in the sheer volume of information collected in this case. She deserved to be listened to in life and in death. She deserved to be protected. I find it profoundly depressing that those who were supposed to be closest to her choose to misrepresent her reality so brazenly. The only logical conclusion I can come to is that this is all in an effort to conceal themselves from exposure and consequences of their own criminality. Whether this is specifically pertaining to their crypto scamming ways, what I speculate to be their participation in drug trafficking through money laundering, or perhaps even abusive family dynamics that they don't want made public. In the November 15th, 2022 interview, Rachel Rager made a statement that put this all into perspective for me. When the detective asked her how the stalker topic came up, Rachel revealed that Kaylee would always talk about things in a light-hearted manner and said that one time she was speaking of childhood trauma in a joking manner. Joking about or dismissing one's own fears and traumas is a common defense mechanism known as self-invalidation, often used to avoid overwhelming feelings, suppress memories, or manage the anxiety of trauma. Reading this statement describing Kaylee's affect saddened me deeply, as we've all witnessed and perceived for ourselves a pattern of gaslighting, controlling, and even scapegoating tactics directed at Kaylee that have been displayed publicly by that family. The Goncalves family also exhibit a toxic us versus them mentality, as displayed by their so-called Army of Love Facebook page with over 185,000 members. The description of the page states, quote, "No negativity, please," which tells you all you need to know about their willingness to seek the truth in this matter. To them, the public consists of two types of people: those who support them financially and emotionally without question, and so-called haters, those of us with questions about their conflicting statements and objectively inappropriate public behavior following Kaylee's murder. This attitude is on full display in a recent Facebook post made to the group by Christy Goncalves. She wrote, quote, "Tomorrow, Steve and I will be flying to California to visit Olivia, Robbie, and our grandchildren. We are excited to spend time with them and make some memories. I'm aware that some individuals may attempt to misrepresent the purpose of our trip, suggesting that we are visiting for ulterior motives or that we are running from the FBI. However, I can assure you that our trip is solely for the purpose of visiting our family. Feel free to speculate and lie as you always do. Say what you must, though, to continue getting views and carrying on with making us out to be the bad guys," unquote. I have no idea who or what she is referring to. I haven't seen anyone make any such accusations. She likely just made this up to further victimize themselves and receive a little bit of narcissistic supply from their cult members. Perhaps the guilty knowledge they evidently possess is what causes them to act this way. Maybe they feel that being upfront and vulnerable in confronting the truth about what happened to their daughter would only jeopardize their image and possibly their freedom. Besides, nothing they say.
1 second. Something's not right. My apologies, you guys. I got to check one more time. I got to check something. Oh, shoot. I guess I did mess up. There we go. Okay. My apologies, everybody. So sorry. Thank you, Sleuther. Okay. On we go.
Can bring her back. And to some degree, I can understand that perspective. I can extend empathy and compassion to those who avoid confronting the truth about trauma and loss because the pain of reality can be too much to bear. Kara Kernodle comes to mind in this scenario. But what I cannot respect, however, are those who lie, shut down dissent, exploit trust and empathy from others, and seek to profit and gain attention and recognition off of lies. I simply cannot tolerate the injustice that occurs when a victim is silenced and abusers disguise themselves as victims by proxy to take control of the narrative, adjusting the facts to best serve their image, line their pockets, and keep them out of trouble. Whatever their motives for hiding the truth, it's despicable and should be called out as such. No more benefit of the doubt or everyone grieves differently passage should be given to those who prove themselves to be grifters and deceivers. That goes for you too, Dylan Mortensen, who took a page out of the G family book and raised $116,000 from the public via a GoFundMe for her so-called healing journey.
Anything the jury's going to see in that courtroom, we should all see. You shouldn't run from the truth. You shouldn't hide the truth, even if it makes somebody look guilty. So that part of the still work to be done.
See, the cool thing about the truth, Steve, is that it always reveals itself over time. Lies require constant intervention and exhausting efforts to block and distort the inevitable. Just ask certain content creators who basically have full-time jobs doing mental gymnastics, explaining the oddities in this case away, as those of us who actually seek the truth continue to discover and expose daily. In reality, Kaylee doesn't need me or anyone else to validate her concerns with documentation or physical and lay evidence because she was telling the truth. She was found alongside her friends, savagely murdered in her home, despite telling countless people of her fears, taking abundant precautionary measures, and even warning her roommates that they needed to be more cautious with regards to their personal safety. These facts alone should be enough for everyone to raise serious doubt towards the validity of the official narrative. Not only should the erroneous conclusions made in this case be re-examined and questioned in the face of such contradictory evidence and investigatory negligence, but it is also necessary to assess the potential motive and culpability of those proven to have been perpetuating such lies throughout this whole ordeal. Let me be clear to those who believe these people are above reproach or scrutiny because they lost a loved one in such a traumatic way. Proximity to a murder victim does not automatically afford one any level of immunity from investigation. However, these individuals were shielded from scrutiny by the media and law enforcement. As such, they are actively colluding against us, the public, and attempting to distort our observable reality, just like they did to Kaylee. If something similarly horrific had happened to me and my friends, and I had left such a thorough trail of evidence documenting my fears, which my family, friends, and investigators proactively concealed and dismissed, I'd hope that someone, somewhere, would hear me out and take my concerns seriously. Kaylee, don't you worry, we got you, girl. I hope that you can find some peace knowing that despite the collective efforts of many, your voice has been heard, loudly, by strangers all over the world who recognize you for your honest and genuine spirit. As for the den of snakes that surrounded you in life and exploited you in death for attention and greed, they'll eventually have to face the truth when it fully comes to light. It's up to us to see past the mask of fraudulent self-victimization and demand accountability for all who chose to cover up the truth in this matter. If we just let it go, this behavior of concealing truth out of self-preservation and greed becomes normalized and accepted, and I will not let that happen here. Thank you for watching.
All right. Interesting. Hold on, you guys. I'm trying to change something over here. All right, here we go. All right, Eddie, any thoughts, my friend? Thank you, guys.
Well, she knocks it out of the park. She covers a lot of ground.
Oh, yeah,
But
definite.
yeah, it's easy to see. I mean, we've all felt this for a long time. I use the phraseology all on board. I mean, it's easy to see that the G family is on board with this thing, whatever it is,
Right.
You know, to avoid true justice. I mean, they're after this fictional justice, which, of course, makes Brian Koberger the fall guy.
Right.
And like I said before, they know that Brian Koberger is innocent. You just can't prove it, but it's easy to see.
I can agree.
Maybe early in this timeline, maybe one could have made the case that they're being hoodwinked, but there's got to be a point where, I mean, how many mulligans are there, right? So,
yeah. Yes.
I mean, they know now that it's all a ruse, that the fix is in against Brian Koberger, and they're going along with it for some reason.
And that's I think the question of the decade, truly, in my opinion. Why? I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't know how could you do that, I would want absolution and absolute truth, honestly.
Yeah, it's disrespectful to their late daughter, if nothing else.
I agree. I do. It's bothering. It's very bothering. So, hey, Summer, good to see you.
I learned a new word. She threw out there, histrionic.
Yeah, I like that word too. I love it. It sounds cool, doesn't it?
I've been striving for the right word. I was thinking about that today. Like, if you sometimes if you've ever been in Gilter's content creators channels,
Right.
have you ever noticed? I don't go into any of them anymore, but early on, we were all there. We all kind of made the rounds. I won't name names of the channels, but some channels you would hear, Stabby, like a pet name, a nickname for Brian Kohlberg.
Yeah.
They'd call him Stabby Kohlberger. I mean,
Yeah,
that is
I
so,
remember.
that's putting it on. That's laying it on thick.
Very immature.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like what are they? The stormtroopers? No. I mean the Jedi. They overwhelm the mind of the weak-minded. It's like,
yeah,
that
the
ain't
Jedi
working
Knight.
here. But that word kind of encompasses that type of behavior, and we've seen that pattern over and over.
Yeah.
In this case, whether it's Olivia's victim statement, even Judge Hippler. I mean, when he refers to Dylan and Bethany as kids, kids being kids.
Right.
I mean, just ridiculous. Or, not when you leave your DNA in a crime scene. It's just over the top ridiculous. And when you see that, and when you can identify that pattern, it's a red flag. Something's going on.
Yeah. Agreed.
These types of accusations that can get people disbarred.
Very good point. Very good point.
But yeah, I've long kind of wanted because I'm always looking for an effective vocabulary word. I kind of like vocabulary.
Yeah. Histrionics, it's been used in this case a lot, and it's a very fitting word for a lot of things here. I agree with you fully.
Yeah, I was impressed, and I didn't know that one, so I got something from it.
I am very glad to hear that. 1 minute here. And I did receive, somebody sent me, whoever that was, the other video as well. Now, 1 minute here. I also got, just 1 second, you guys. What is going on here? 1 minute. I don't know why this is doing this. Hold on. Come on. I want my mail. There we go. Now we're going to go back to this. This is part of what I stopped and talked about earlier on. This is the other thing. Thank you for sending this to me as well. I got both videos. I got this one, which is playing part in what we're talking about here today. But also, and I'm showing this for a reason, based on something Eddie had said as well. But we're going to check this out. And then I did get another video. Whoever sent that to me, I didn't even see the name. I'm sorry. From the same creator, TruCrime Design. I did get that other one, which is looking very interesting as well. So we'll see. If we have time, we'll talk about that maybe possibly too. But anyway, we're going to go with this first because this plays into exactly what we were just talking about. Hear it. 1 minute. All right. Stop.
Welcome back. There has been so much information floating around for the past several weeks about this case. Some of it is true. Some of it has obviously been rumors. And a lot of the talk has been focused on whether Kaylee Goncalves may have actually had a stalker. I asked her family to clear that up.
Hold on.
If Kaylee had a stalker.
And a lot of the talk has been focused on whether
right,
Kaylee Goncalves may have actually had a stalker. I asked her family to clear that up.
Can you talk a little more about, a lot of people have been wondering if Kaylee had a stalker, if that was really true.
I said this, she's a pretty girl. Her friends are really pretty. So them attracting attention.
Now, I want you to watch this. Watch the body language. While you're listening, watch all three of them. Sorry, 1-1. I love you, bro, but sorry.
Was
if that was really true.
Hang on.
Can you talk a little more about, a lot of people have been wondering if Kaylee had a stalker, if that was...
Immediately, you see Christy's head start going like this, okay? And he didn't even get it all the way out, and there she goes. Now watch.
Really true.
I said this, she's a pretty girl. Her friends are really pretty. So them attracting attention was pretty common wherever they went. So I think she attracted attention, whether that's a dedicated person following her around, maybe not. I do believe that the officers looked in it, and I believe what they said, that there was no evidence there.
This was very early on. And then what did we just watch? A complete and total contradiction to that, right or wrong? So I have two issues with this. One, the contradictory statements. Again, yes, Grumpy, truth doesn't change, okay? And two, okay, what's the truth? Did Kaylee go to them or anyone and say, hey, I have an issue. Somebody's following me or has been following me or in different area and it was blown off? You know, the parents are saying no. You see her mother saying no. Was she, is that why she left Idaho and went home? Or was there another issue with it? Oh, Eddie fell out the window. Welcome back, buddy. But either way, was it a thing that they said, no, you're not. It's in your head. Stop it. You're being ridiculous, Kaylee. Quit. Or was it, and it was ignored? Or did they not know about it? Now, granted, I know she may have been estranged from them, but word of mouth gets around through family very quickly. Somebody knew. Okay, if there were no police reports filed, that's fine. But why did everybody else in the world knew about this? But them. And at this point, I struggle with believing they didn't know. This almost sounds like they put it off as it was nothing. Like, almost like maybe you're over-exaggerating, Kaylee. Maybe it's not that serious. Well, Olivia was nodding her head, Angie, too, when Steve said she's a pretty girl, and I'm sure a lot of guys were looking at her and following her around. That's what Olivia was nodding her head to, in my opinion. Either way, this is still, we see that they're not on the same page. I don't believe they ever have been. This is probably the same interview, I believe, where Brian Enton, if it wasn't this one, it was another one he did, where he looks at Steve and says, are you open to the fact that more than one person's involved in this, Steve? Absolutely. As he's doing this and saying that, she's going, no. They've been this way through this whole thing, which is very odd to me, but okay. And I'm just only pointing this out because I think things like this, in this part of the case, this conversation piece and stuff like that is important to me. I'm just saying. So I'm going to let this go on, but I just wanted to point these out.
Are you confident with the way they're investigating?
I think it's hard to say this way or that.
There again. Watch. You got to watch the body language over everything. Watch.
It's hard to say this way or that.
Investigating?
I think it's hard to say this
Christy's shaking her head no again.
Way or that. They're obviously holding it very tight to chest, which could either be a really, really great sign or really, really bad sign. And I think depending on not even the day, the hour, especially my dad and I, we go back and forth between they got this and kind of falling apart a little bit and, really looking at specific events that have been strange or maybe should have been looked into more in our eyes.
And it really is just so heartbreaking what that family has been going through. I thank them so much for trusting me and allowing me to come into their home and talk with them. It's so easy to get caught up in the investigation, all the new nuggets that come out with things. But behind the scenes, This is really about the victims and it is about their families. The pain that is even worse because the
Now, I'm going to pull the entire interview on this to watch because I want to point multiple things to you guys out with this, okay? This is weird to me. This has always been off-putting to me and very strange to me. And this goes back to what do they know? What did they know from the beginning? Okay? And what has been denied? And as Eddie likes his phrasing on things about being on board, it's clearly evident in some ways, folks, about that. Okay? And at least in my opinion, I should say. This is all based on my opinion, what I'm saying. So, but yeah, this full interview with him is very interesting. Okay? Very interesting.
Yeah, it feels that they know they're withholding a critical piece of information.
Yeah. Yes.
What date was this interview? Was it December 3rd?
This one was December 4th. So I want to find the full interview because there's a lot of things in this interview, you guys, at this point and where we're at now that are it's so wild. So that is something I'm going to do to add to this as well if I can. Anyway, thank you for sending me that. Very much appreciated. All right, you guys, sorry. My microphone doesn't allow me to talk from a distance. So, 1 minute here. I know, SRB. That bothered the hell out of me too. That was very telling. I agree with you. Very telling. Okay, 1 minute here. Is that going to be connected to News Nation or to him? It's not going to be. Damn it. Sorry, you guys. This might be it. Hold on. No, I don't think it is. Wait, maybe. This is a different one. I was told this one was important too, though, because this has Shannon in it. Give me a second here. Oh, here it is. My apologies. One more time. I think I got things right here. Let's try this out and see what happens.
search for justice and frustrations with the investigation. Here's part one of our conversation.
And this is all, again, this is all, in my opinion, this is all body language. Eddie fell out. Oh, he's got to go out to change it up so we can hear I forget about that. RJ, Embry, good to see you, my friend. Anna D, welcome back to you, dear. Sky Blue Eyes, good to see you. Miss Kate Errett, thank you for being here. Ryan Todd, Gurmilla, Grumpy Toad, no, Lori Woody, welcome. Meanie, Aquamarine, which he was. Of course, Burai Guy's in the house with us as well. Tattoo Gal, Meanie, all of you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Every one of you, appreciate you very much. And the one and only Mert, welcome to you. Eddie probably needs a new link. Hold on. Right.
She was hurt so bad that she was not able to recover. That is just terrible.
Oh, it's okay.
It's terrible. I cannot fathom in my head what kind of person did this.
It's capable.
And why. I can't sleep at night. I lay in bed pondering just millions of different scenarios. And just, I want to know, but then there's stuff obviously.
I've always wondered, okay? I've always wondered, and this is with all due respect, okay? Please understand that. I've never lost the compassion for their loss. Never. I never can, never could, never will. That is absolute, folks, period. But there's no emotion here at all. None. And I don't understand that. This is the most vocally emotional person in this entire family. But no emotion. It's weird to me. I don't grab it, okay? It just doesn't fit. Welcome back, Eddie.
We'll try again.
Yeah, I understand, bud. I get it. No worries. I'll work through it with you the whole time. No worries. So there again, it's just odd to me. I'll just say that. But this is all about body language. I want that to be noticed and see. Watch head shakes and yeses and nos and all that stuff.
You don't want to know, but
You just
I think I want to know it all, and
You're okay.
I just don't understand why. How somebody can take somebody, four of them. It wasn't just my girl. Just so savagely.
Is anyone acting differently since the murders? I mean, is there anyone that you have a weird feeling about that the girls knew or that comes to mind?
Yeah, I would say not in the
Right away, head shakes. Yeah. Again, we're back at anyone the girls knew. I want you to hear this. And I'll play that back for those of you that may not have been focusing. Listen to this question one more time, guys. This is important, again, I think.
The murders, I mean, is there anyone that you have a weird feeling about that the girls knew or that comes to mind?
Yeah, I would
Right away. Yeah.
say not in the immediate circle by any means, but a few of the names that have been circulating around, I think it's hard not to kind of, dig into this. And I don't know how much of that is just because we have so little information from law enforcement and how much of it really is, a sister or a father's intuition.
Can you elaborate at all? I don't know. You don't have to give a name, but I mean, is it someone that she knew or?
I have something to say about that. I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast.
There we are again. A couple individuals that were cleared very fast. Now remember something too, guys. We've talked about this before. The very beginning of a case like this is usually the most important part. Most of the truth will come at some point in the beginning. There's not enough time for things to be created and destroyed as far as, statements that are made, narratives being created, so on and so forth. So I will back up a little bit more, of course. Here we go. Sorry, guys. So one more time, remember that as we hear these and see these things. I think this plays into what do they or did they know then and now?
She knew or?
I have something to say about that. I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast. That may not, maybe shouldn't have been. And yeah.
Share the strong alibi.
Just really fast.
If you can dismiss.
An hour later, and we're like, what? And I don't know. I don't know anything about them. And we're like, what? And I don't know. And yeah.
Share the strong alibi.
Just really fast. Shouldn't have been. And yeah.
Share the strong alibi.
Just really fast.
If you can dismiss.
An hour later, and we're like, what?
There again, for nobody that ever caught that, Steve says, share the strong alibi. Share it. I thought it was she had in the beginning, but I picked this apart for months. Share the strong alibi. Meaning, if somebody has such a strong alibi, share it, then let us know what it is. They're saying that wasn't happening at this point. I want to know who. That's the point right here.
And I don't know. I don't know anything about those individuals. I just know they were people that, definitely should have been looked at. And
I don't know what would prevent you from sharing somebody's alibi.
Yeah, I think that's what we're struggling with. So it's like, we know what we know. We've, fought for Jack, Kaylee's boyfriend, and, we still stand that way. So I did just kind of want to clear that up while we're talking through this ambiguity that, that's not what we're honing in on here.
We don't want to make more victims out of innocent people.
Exactly.
We definitely don't want to do that.
No. You've mentioned before that you didn't want to have a funeral right now because the killer's still out there. Is that something that you're still thinking about? Are you nervous at all? I mean, because in Moscow, we talked to students. People are really nervous there.
They should be.
Yeah.
This targeted to me, it seems behavior based. That's why I don't like it, and it kind of pits the parents against each other. So I don't like that. I just told some of the other parents today that if that's why I don't like it, and it kind of pits the parents against each other. It's behavior based. That's why I don't like it, and it kind of pits the parents against each.
Hits the parents against each other. And what he's saying therein, this is December 4th of 2022. Just a couple weeks into this, okay? That he and some of the other families aren't getting along at this point, as far as agreement-wise, I'm guessing, okay? They're not agreeing on things. That's interesting to me. Very interesting to me. Just saying.
Each other, so I don't like that. I just told some of the other parents today that if your daughter has no ill will for me, man. To me, if you go have a couple beers or go out and hang out with your friends and then come home and go to bed, if that's your target, then I think we all do that. I think we all come home and go to our beds.
It's all target.
Yeah, so
it's kind of a bad word then. It doesn't really make sense in some ways.
Exactly.
Even the prosecutor told me that.
Yeah.
He said, I think it was kind of a weird word to choose.
Yeah. I mean, if it makes sense if there was some bad behavior that they did, let's say, I don't know, they came from a strip club or something, and then somebody followed them home. That's a targeted thing. That's what comes. I've had innocent people that were interviewed that were their neighbors, and they said, I'd be a lot more scared if it wasn't targeted.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing anything to target me. And I'm like, well, if targeting is just going to bed with your friends.
So maybe that was just a way to calm people down?
I feel like it was strategic.
Yeah.
It was a strategic way to keep people from hitting the door, transferring out, and turning that place into a ghost town.
You never think you're going to lose your little sister.
Yeah.
Ever. You never think you're going to have to bury your daughter.
Absolutely unbelievable. It's nothing compared to the pain that I feel.
Yeah.
Losing Kaylee. And I don't know. It's several things. It's her age. It's how it happened.
It's her life.
Why it happened. Who did this to her?
Just graduated.
Who did this to her and her friends? The fact that she was with her best friend. Since they were little girls.
That family tonight is so heartbroken. I've been in touch with them. It's literally unimaginable to think about what they are going through. But
thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red.
All right. 1 minute here. Any thoughts, Eddie? Going forward?
No, there's something off in all those early interviews. There was even that one interview, I forget what the date was, but I refer to it as the we got to get it right interview.
Oh, yeah. With the
she says it under her breath. Christy
their
says
aunt, Christy and Kaylee's aunt was there too.
Yes.
That one, it's hard to find that one. I don't know why.
I got notes. I could find it real quick as far as the reference of
the date
when it
and
took
stuff.
place.
Yeah, because that is a good one. That is definitely an interesting one. It's Christy, her sister. I'm trying to remember who else was there. And yeah, in the beginning of it, when you catch it early, we got to get it right. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's November 18th.
So that was very early on.
Yeah, there was an NBC interview with Daddy Schwartz.
1 minute. And I'm just playing these to show, like I said, what did the Goncalves know then and now and in between is why we're doing this today.
Dago, not too long ago, I was on your channel. I kind of addressed some of these same themes. And
yeah, of course.
One of the points I wanted to emphasize is if you can get the families on board with this and make them the spokesperson of it, there's nothing more powerful. You got it lock, stock, and barrel now.
Agreed.
Who's going to challenge what the victims' families say?
Nobody will.
No one will have the courage to do that.
As including all of us, we wouldn't do it in the beginning either. If you think backwards, none of us did. Okay? None of us did. 1 minute here. It's not coming up that way. It's never, I've always struggled with this one. Damn it. 1 minute. Come on, work with me here. Nope. That one was on the 23rd. Come on. God, I forgot how many of them there are. There's so many of them, you guys. It almost looks like it was removed or scrubbed or something. It's weird. I can't find it, but it's okay. It will still. I have 1 minute. Sorry, everybody. I do have a couple other lined up that I was going to use already. This is another one that I felt was important to our topic today. For those of you that may remember this, welcome Sarah D. Good to see you, Sarah. Make sure you guys are following Miss Sarah on Twitter, guys. For anything on this case, she has it. It's all wrapped up nice and pretty with a big bow on top over there on Twitter. Go check it out. Or X, whatever you call it. It's hard for me to call it X, but anyway. Excuse me. There's the link. Thank you, Ro. Please make sure you're following Sarah and check it out. All right, we're going to go with this one. And again, I want you to pay attention to body language and stuff like this. What did, with the back thought of, what did the family know then, in the middle, and now? Sorry for my long pauses, you guys. My apologies. And we're off.
How you guys doing?
Again, this one is from November 23rd, my birthday of 2022.
Me, it's not real yet. I'm a bit in denial. I'm hoping for justice. That's why I'm trying to switch myself into that mode.
And that is another good point. Who said it? Gulf Coast. Notice the difference, by the way. Gulf Coast said, well, eventually the mask falls off these people. That's a good point and a great statement to make, because in all aspects, it does happen in that way.
To try to find some justice. That's where I'm at.
I get it. Steve, Olivia?
Yeah, I just know my sister, she was a hard worker, and just sitting in my bed and crying myself to sleep isn't gonna do her any justice. And that's not what she'd want me to do. She'd want me to stay active and doing what I can to spread her message and hope that we can find this suspect or suspects. And that's how I feel.
I get it. I get it. She's got a great smile. We keep showing that picture. I know your family's been frustrated with the investigation so far, understandably so. Here we are, a week and a half out, and really not much information about this. Does not appear to be a suspect. Tell me, Olivia, what specifically you've been frustrated with, because you did your own work here. For instance, you found video of the food truck, for example, where two of the victims were seen the same night as this killing.
Yeah, I would say, I think that obviously this is extremely personal for us, and we treated it that way from the very get-go. I know how valuable those first 48, 72 hours are. And I can only hope that the police also know how valuable that is, and that they have.
Thank you, Whit James. I will do that. And thank you so much for the super chat. God bless, dear.
A lot of information there that just isn't public right now. I will say the one lingering frustration I have is the timeline. I know it's semantics, but my sisters got home at 1:56. It wasn't 1:45. I know it might not seem significant, but when we're looking for camera, when we're looking for dash footage, when we're looking for any of those things, I do feel it is valuable, and they did get home at 1:56. It was not 1:45.
Right. Well, there's one detail there. Kaylee's mother has said she believes that the suspect, the killer, is someone Kaylee knew very well, and that the killer.
Stop right there. First off, thank you, Witchy. Good point. Let me reread that. I take serious exception to that. Ellie unable to identify stalker headline because the phone data wasn't fully available yet. Kaylee's data wasn't analyzed until after December 12th. Very good point, and thank you for that. Thank you. Very interesting point. So, that and this statement right here.
Someone Kaylee knew very well, and that the killer said she believes.
1:45.
Right. Well, there's one detail there. Kaylee's mother has said she believes that the suspect, the killer, is someone Kaylee knew very well.
Okay. Well, we all know that her and Brian Koberger did not know each other. This was said November 23rd of 2022. She said this. I've held on to this whole time. 3+ years I've held on to that statement. It was made more than once. Okay. She made it in 2 other interviews. I know for a fact because I went through them all and analyzed them all. Again, that's a very big statement to make. She believes it was somebody Kaylee knew very well. Does anybody else besides me have a large issue with that statement being made, considering where we're at right now?
Yeah, I agree, Dago. It's a significant thing to say. You just don't haphazardly come up with that.
And thank you, Eddie. And here's the thing. I don't even care that Brian wasn't arrested yet. That has no bearing on this to me whatsoever. It was stated more than once. It was stated with emphasis. And the only time it changed was after Brian was arrested. I don't care what people think as far as that goes. Well, that's because Brian was arrested, Dago. No. I'm not going to take that as a solid answer for that. I'm sorry. I just won't. Again, they knew, in my opinion, back then, they knew something then, is what I'm trying to tell you guys. What I believe. This is all my opinion again, and everything we talk about is purely alleged and absolute speculation based on the information we have. Okay, as I always claim. But that's a strong statement. This was made to Brian Enton. It was made to Olivia from Chronicles of Olivia, and now it's made here on CNN. Okay, there's a basis behind it. There's a reason behind it, in my absolute opinion. Is all I'm saying. So, That's the biggest statement in this interview thus far, but going forward.
And that the killer might even be at the vigil. Remarkable. I wonder, Steve, do you share that view?
It's speculation. My daughter was very popular. It seemed like everyone that I talked to said she knew everyone. They had parties.
She knew everyone. There's another interesting statement, folks. What have we heard mostly through all the interviews we've watched and seen and heard and so on and so forth? Nobody knew Kaylee. Am I wrong? Nobody knew who Kaylee was. But she knew everyone?
Right.
Am I wrong, Eddie, for like thinking this is wild?
Yeah, it's a contradiction.
There's so much contradiction in within these interviews. It's insane. No one knew her. Thank you, guys. See? No one, but especially in my opinion, these people. Sadly, I hate to say this, but I don't think they didn't seem to know a lot about her. Something's wrong with that, okay? Jack D's fingerprints were taken, Brian, May 25th, I think it was May 13th of 2025, just this last May, a year ago coming up on. This crime happened 3+ years ago. That's another issue I have. We'll get into that another time, but that's a problem. But yeah, nobody seemed to know this girl, very sadly, including her parents in some ways, or her family, however you take it. That's not a good thing.
They were college kids. They were about to graduate. Yeah. So somebody could have partied in the house and got an idea or got the confidence to pull that off.
Let me throw some things at you real fast. You were just learned. Somebody could have partied in the house and got an idea. Okay, I'll give you that. We just heard an interview with Kyle Fry 2 days ago, where Kyle claims that he was at the parties more than once, many times. He was real good friends with Ethan. The one thing he claimed was that Kaylee didn't interact with anybody at these parties, that she was always upstairs. She would come down, grab some food, kind of say hey, and go back up. Didn't interact. So how, that doesn't fit for me. But again, another point to make. This is why I love to do this, because we take things that happened 3 years ago and we put them with things that happened 3 days ago. It's interesting. It's very interesting. They don't line up.
Steve, this question of a stalker, and I'm very conscious with this story of how many rumors have been circulating, and a lot of those rumors turn out to not be true. But
here we are with the stalker statement again, November 23rd of 2022.
Stephen, this discussion of the possibility she may have had a stalker, have police been able to stand that up, or not? They seem to be knocking that down.
Yeah, it seems to be knocked down. Obviously.
Steve didn't answer that. He was talking to Steve. Steve doesn't even look up. Interesting.
Any of that information would be new to us as well.
Have had a stalker, have police been able to stand that up, or not? They seem to be knocking that down.
Yeah, it seems to be knocked down. Obviously, any of that information would be new to us as well. Kaylee FaceTimed me. She didn't call or text. She FaceTimed me for literally hours, almost every single day. And she was extremely cautious. She was very vigilant. I think that she really would have noticed something, and she would have said it to us. She wasn't, scared to get us involved in her life in any capacity like that.
I know you're frustrated with how much and how information, developments in the investigation are being shared with the public. Are they sharing anything with you that they're not sharing publicly, in light of the fact that this was your sister, this was your daughter?
I'm not getting anything. They're not sharing much with me. I know that there's a separation in duties there. They do have the FBI now, so I don't know how much the individuals that I'm talking with, which are the local, are actually exercising their different jurisdictions. I think they might not know a lot because, they have briefings, and if they haven't had a briefing, they probably don't know exactly what's going on.
Are they contacting you at all? Are they keeping you updated more than they are, say, on the website or with these press briefings?
To be honest, they're not. I mean, yesterday I asked about the stalker question and they couldn't confirm anything. And then today I hear that they're reaching out to the community saying that there's a stalker involved. So I don't know what to make of that.
It's
a lot of
sorry, go ahead, Steve.
Purposely, they're just so vague with everything that they say, and then they like slowly peel it back layer until you like find the real story. It all started with a sharp-edged weapon. What was the use in telling the community that a sharp-edged weapon was used instead of just coming out and telling us that it was a knife from the beginning? I don't understand the purposeness of being so vague. You're not holding the integrity of the case together by not telling anybody anything.
I understand you have frustrations for how police and investigators have handled the crime scene. What are those frustrations specifically?
Well, they expanded it, and there was volunteers that walked around, and they disclosed that they were looking and found different things. So, you know, they did share with me that that may have more to do with keeping cameras out than it actually does with evidence gathering. So I hope that that is indeed the case, because it would be pretty disheartening a week later to know that they didn't have the right claims.
One of the mother of one of the surviving roommates, reminding our viewers, there were two roommates who were upstairs and survived this, told a reporter that those roommates heard something that night. Have you been told? Have you heard from sharing with other relatives of the other victims what that was exactly?
No, I would say for us that we did hear those rumors, but right now we can only leave it at that. None of that has ever been confirmed to us.
We have not spoke with the roommates.
Yeah.
The surviving roommates, and they were downstairs, just to clarify that for you, sir.
Okay, downstairs, right, on a different floor from where it appears where the murders took place. One consistent thing, and granted, there's been some, changes, as you note, in how the police have described this. One consistent descriptor has been that the attack was targeted. Do you know if police believe one person in the house was the target of this attack, or all four?
I've been told it's one, but then again, there's the vagueness. Like, it's like purposely vague, I'm hoping, but it confuses everyone.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows what that really means, other than maybe somebody had a different kind of attack footprint.
Yeah.
So, I feel like we just want some more. We all want to play a part in helping, and we can't play a part if we don't have any real substantial information to work from.
Yeah, I get it. You want to help. I mean, Olivia, you found video that has been helpful in this investigation. I'm sure you do want to help. Has anyone indicated to you that if it was indeed one person targeted, was Kaylee the target? Has anybody shared that with you?
They won't confirm who that was to us.
The police, that is.
We've heard the rumors that that's the case, but it's just a rumor at this point.
Tons and tons of rumors, but nothing from the police.
And I'll say I think a lot of those rumors do stem from all of the vagueness, and it's human nature to want answers. It's human nature to kind of put forth a theory so that you can even comprehend it in your brain. And so I think that's how we're getting all of some of these really, really off the wall theories, and some of these theories like Kaylee had a stalker, that even we're sitting here scratching our head saying, no, it couldn't be. If it was, it would be news to us.
Yeah.
I am sure it is frustrating. Your family has been very outspoken in support of Jack. He's Kaylee's ex-boyfriend. And on the Moscow police website, he is not listed, notably, as someone who has been cleared in the investigation. To your knowledge, is that significant?
No, I don't personally think so, because I think that there's the entire rest of the world that's also not on that list of people who have been cleared,
right?
Including Maddie's boyfriend, including any associates of Xana or Ethan that might not be involved. I don't find that significant at all.
And there were a number of phone calls to him that night, and you say that would have been typical behavior for Kaylee, that she often would call friends, folks, for a whole bunch of things.
At any time. Yeah. Multiple times until I would pick up at 3 a.m. and be like, Kaylee, what? You know?
Yeah.
And some of the last footage of her at that food court, she's on her phone 24/7 filming the whole thing. So she lived on that phone. So
yeah. It sounds like you're saying that the delays here in sharing information, the delays in, well, frankly, making more progress on the investigation mean the police have lost their best opportunity, right? I think, Olivia, you were saying that those early hours and days are key. That's when you can make real progress. Do you believe that they've missed their best chance here, or may have?
Not only is that's just not a matter of opinion, that's a matter of fact. If you look statistically at homicide cases, those first 10 days are so incredibly important in finding a suspect. They determine almost 9 out of 10 times, I believe it was, if you find a suspect. So yeah, that's not very encouraging to hear that they want to cast this wide net of suspects now. And people we know have no involvement.
The Goncalveses believe Kaylee.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Now, one moment. Anything to add to that, bud?
No, I think other than it feels like there's a point at which their not demeanor, but their approach to this thing changed. Like this one feels like they're being misled by the investigators, Bill Thompson and team, and still they're not part of what's going on. They're not part of the scheme.
Sure. That's the way I agree with you. It comes off that way.
But no matter what, when you look at the Drunk Turkey Show interview, by that time it had turned.
Yeah.
That is when it all blows up and everyone starts taking notice.
Most definitely. Very good point, too. I'm glad you pointed that out. Now, I could play that one, but I have a worry that there may be a problem if I do. So I'm just not going to take that chance.
Yeah, there's no point to it. I think everybody's aware. It's it happened on June 7th, if anyone wants to refer to it. But it's again, June 7th was the live. It was a live.
Yes.
Where I think so that would have been the evening before the June 7th. June 7th is he's doing a live where he's relaying information he got from Christy.
Mm-hmm.
And the topic was clearing up a timeline confusion. The video was removed and a 17-minute pre-recorded interview recap was posted in its place.
Yes, that is correct. I forgot it was removed because that was that was when we had the statement made that Hunter Johnson was called over to push the door open because the girls couldn't get it open, the roommates, because there was somebody or something behind it. If you guys remember that. Now, where the hell are we at with that now? Because that doesn't even exist anymore, if you remember correctly. Very, very different narrative being pushed from that to this, okay? And that came directly from a parent's mouth, interestingly enough.
Yeah, you're right. Steve said that Dylan and Bethany have spoken to the G family, but Daniel states that Christy said they have not spoken to the two roommates.
Completely contradictory, as I've mentioned many, many times now, between the two of them. You have one going yes and one going no at the same time. That is not normal, okay? It's just not normal. So, again, the theme for today, what did or do the Goncalves know? So this next one we're going to jump into came out with Jesse Weber, January 27th of 2026, just a couple months back, okay? Interesting. as it is. This is just Steve by himself. And remember what we've just talked about, what we've learned. Keep in mind those things, and then this. Nice face, Jesse.
So let me just start. How are you guys doing after today?
We keep saying one day at a time, but these type of days are ones that really push you hard, for sure.
Is there anything that came out from these filings, from this report, that gave you any kind of answers that you might have been looking for about what happened?
We learned brand new things. Those details that were put in those docs were never given to us. They were given to strangers before they were given to us. It's shocking that a family doesn't get any kind of priority, even heads up. We asked for discovery. They said they'd give it to us, but they never did. So yeah, we're working with legislators. We're going to try to fix this. Idaho has Bill 1135 that hopefully will protect this type of information and make sure that it never gets out. Especially he pled 4 cases of murder, capital, all of them, and in the same breath he waived his rights to even challenge it. So why does this need to come out? All these details. I mean, these are like mortician details. It has nothing to do with a case that's never going to happen.
Just to be clear, you're saying, did you even know it was going to come out today, or were you just shocked? Were you shocked by that?
We had no idea. We had no heads up, none whatsoever. It goes to the media.
That's not true either, because they were told. There was a phone call made, and there's a statement made that there was a phone call made. I think it was to Olivia that, hey, just giving you a heads up that these videos and these pictures or whatnot are coming. Just so you know, it was quick, but they were given a heads up per se. So just saying.
Yeah, before it does us, and
that's awful.
We just find out through our phone starts going off.
That's awful. That's awful. And now you are confronted with this. The people will say this information can help maybe shed some light into the timeline of the attack, the intention of this. The injuries sustained by all 4 were awful. But the injuries sustained by Kaylee and Maddie and where they were positioned and how many injuries they sustained to their face and neck, does this give you an indication that Brian Kohberger was targeting them specifically?
No, I think there's some timing advance records that kind of lead me to believe that it was another person that they were looking for. I mean, Matt might have been part of that, but there was 2 individuals. But I think
now this is where he's playing into the Maddie and Lana or Lana, Jesus Christ, Maddie and Xana theory. Okay, this is where he's admitting to that at this point. This is so all over the place. Okay? It's unbelievable to me at some point.
All the families tried not to go down a road where we blamed each other, or we tried to say one person's kid was more responsible or had a role in this or something like that. We tried to keep it, unfortunately, we had to do this all together, and pointing at each other wasn't something we were.
By the way, you guys and Eddie, I got to do one little thing before we're going to do this Monday with this, where we do the whole breakdown of the vehicle. This is, by the way, thank you to Fizzy, a Ford Explorer. I was wrong because I couldn't read it and didn't see it, but it is a Ford Explorer. So I think I was thrown off by the body style change on it, but that's my problem. But I do want to clarify, that's what this vehicle is, a Ford Explorer. So just to clarify that portion. There's still much more coming this coming Monday, though, on that vehicle.
We had to do this all together, and pointing at each other wasn't something we were willing to do.
No. And by the way, I didn't know that you didn't know this information that was coming out before today. You mentioned that I believe you're going to be meeting with the governor. What are you hoping the change will be?
It's things like this. You can't.
We had a prosecutor who was extremely weak. He was way over his head. He didn't know what he's doing. And he hid these. There's a reason 6 months later, these things are coming out, because he never would have had the support of his community if these would have came out and said, hey, I'm going to go make a plea deal with this guy, and I'm not going to get the details of all the surroundings, the when, where, what, and how you did this. He didn't feel like he had to do that. And he hid all this stuff. And now that it's coming out, we're going to talk to the governor and say, hey, we can do better than this. And, that means we got to do laws. We can't just let one person act like a judge and jury and make a deal. And then, we live with it for the rest of our lives. And 6 months later, we're finding out new details of, the worst moments of our children's lives. It seems like a nightmare that this couldn't be legal, but we hope to make sure that it isn't legal in Idaho in the future.
And talking about legality, you and the other families have filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Washington State University, where Kohberger had been attending. Can you tell us the status of that and what you're looking for there?
We're looking for accountability. I don't have an update on it. We expect to hear something this week, but when you reverse engineer everything that happened, we feel like there's lapse in accountability. And if that's anything we've tried to bring to this case, is how do we make sure this never happens to another family again? And if there was things that were missed, let's make sure that we address those and we make our community and our world a better place, so nobody has to deal with this again. And that's what this is all about.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download.
So they didn't know this, they didn't know that, they didn't know that, and this, and really? I don't know.
That's a hit piece right there. We just watched a hit piece against transparency.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Most definitely. Very good point, too, Eddie. Now, this is the one I skipped this. I was all out of line with these, out of order. I forgot. I wanted to show this one in the beginning. This is one of the videos we've seen many, many, many times. Thank you for making that statement, too, Eddie. I appreciate you pointing that out. This was a very important one. Very important. We all know this one very well.
Good evening, America, and welcome to this special edition of Cross Country in Moscow, Idaho. Tonight, we are in front of the Moscow.
This is December 4th, okay? December 4th of 22. I forgot that I had this one in the back to pull this. I jumped on the other one first, but anyway.
Police Department, and you may be asking why. It's been about 3 weeks since the horrific stabbing death of 4 college students at the University of Idaho. 3 weeks since we lost Zayna, Maddie,
Thank you, Whit, and that's the one I'll go to next. That's the one we were looking for. Thank you, dear.
Kaylee, and Ethan. 3 weeks, and still the police have no suspect or person of interest. The community has been left in limbo, left with more confusion and more questions. We are on the hunt. Innocent Vic joining me now on set, the parents of Kaylee Goncalves, Christy and Steve Goncalves. Thank y'all so much for being with me. You guys have been so transparent and strong for the public. Christy, you called the person that did this the boogeyman.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
It's literally like what nightmares are made of. Like when you're a little kid and you think of the boogeyman, that's just how I feel. Like that's just the horrific details of everything. Them just having a good time, going home and going to bed, and that's happening to them.
Your best friend crawling into bed.
Just crawling in bed.
Every
and
girl
the
in
boogeyman
America
comes.
knows what that's
The
like.
boogeyman doesn't, meet you at McDonald's. I mean, the boogeyman comes and snatches you out of your bedroom.
Steve, we've been talking. I've been talking to folks in the community. You said something that stuck with me. You said, until this person is caught, you can't sleep in your bed.
No, I can't just lay in my bed and do nothing. That's not the way I raised my family. That's not the way I raised my girls and my son. You don't be a victim. You stand up for yourself and you do everything in your power to make sure people hear you. And they're gonna hear Kaylee. They're gonna hear Maddie. They're gonna hear these.
The other two as well.
Yes.
All of them.
I'm careful saying anything about them because I need to be careful because I can't speak on somebody else's child. But these two girls, I'm not trying to be a glory hound, but these two girls, I'm going to do what I can do. And we're not being victims. We're going to fight. We're going to figure out how to make sure that we hold everybody, accountable, and we keep eyes and attention on this and get this thing resolved.
Steve, you have made it very clear to our audience that you are supportive of law enforcement. You support the investigation. But recently, I've been watching and talking with you, and you're getting frustrated. Where does that frustration come from, sir?
They put certain people between you and the officers that are making things happen. And those people are like lawyers, and they don't want to say anything, and they don't have the guts to come up and be alpha and be like leaders and say, hey, we might say something that's wrong. We're going to take that hit. So the officers, they look me straight in their eyes. The lead detective looked me in his eyes. I have no doubt he's working as hard as he can, but somebody isn't communicating. There's nothing being released. It seems like they're trying to suppress the story. We want to put rewards out there. Like, don't do that. Yeah, I get it. Your town doesn't want to have reward posters posted all over when you come and you do your rush. You're not going to get a lot of students if they see those things. But this community is not going to heal until this guy's pulled off the streets. It ain't going to happen. Think it through. It's not going to happen. He has to be off the streets. We all are working for the same thing.
When was the last time y'all heard from the police?
Thursday,
we looked at our phone records. We want to be accurate. We don't want to sell anyone out.
about 3:00 on Thursday.
And did y'all get an update from the police about the investigation?
There was nothing. We have no updates for you.
There was no update. They needed me to sign a waiver form so that they could investigate something.
Some mail.
That was mail related. So we're working with.
Well, there's the mail thing again. That's still yet another big thing to me. Still would like to understand that a little bit more, truly and honestly. But of course,
I feel like the investigator that looked him in his eyes, you know, that kind of calmed him down and gave him pause.
Yeah,
was Payne.
I have to agree with you. Definitely.
He has a way about him, and
I don't know that he would look him in his eyes.
Too. That's why they put him front and center, because he's calm under pressure.
Yeah, most
he's
definitely
built for that role. He's got that X factor about him.
Yep, and he's a yes man.
Need someone like that on the stand.
Very, very good point, sir. Very good point. Now, if he did do that, he stood on a step stool. I'll say that much. But you know, sorry, I had to throw that in there. Just a little humor there. We have to throw out there, take some seriousness out of it. But yeah, I agree with you. He would be the one that would have said, "Hey, let me talk to you for a minute, okay?" You know, and play his game that he does, and calm him down, so and so, because he was hot. We all know how hot he was in this interview. I mean, beyond hot. And he points at multiple reasons why. And again, this was December 4th of 22, 3 weeks into this. Nobody is arrested yet. And they're very frustrated. They feel that there's nothing being done. So on and so forth. So good point, Eddie. Good point. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Lastly,
we're not selling.
Say again, bud.
At this point, I think in the investigation, the state is using the family as that powerful mouthpiece.
Very much so.
Put whatever disinformation out there, whatever key tidbits, to implant into the public's, you know,
this is most definitely
about what's going on.
They were definitely being used as a tool to start the propaganda train, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Truly and honestly.
Notice already we're on a well, it's always been pretty much a single perpetrator, but the family here is all on board with it being a lone perpetrator, which is just unusual. You know, we heard on the November 20th press conference, one of the journalists asked, she says, how does one person kill 4 people in the middle of the night and not wake up the other 2 roommates? I don't even know that answer. So it's a fantasy. That doesn't happen.
Bingo. Thank you. Very good point. Again.
I wonder if the family ever even asked the question, what makes you think it's one person?
I've wondered that myself many, many times. Many, many times. So, all right, let me run this a little bit more. This is where it starts to get pretty warmed up here.
On them out. We love our law support.
The FBI, everybody that's here. We just have no information as family, and it gets tough day after day after day. I mean, every day you just wake up and think today's the day. We're going to hear something, and you see these, there's a break in the case, and it'll just be something stupid.
The 6th person on the lease that was never there. Stop playing games. This is serious. These are people's lives, and this is the future of this community. There's going to be 10,000, 15,000 kids that come into this community next year, or they don't. So be serious.
I had the opportunity to speak to some of my sources, and I've been told that there were differences in the way that the victims were killed. Some were more severe than the other. And this week we heard the target attack walk back and then reverse her back to it being a target attack. What can you tell?
Okay, that's important. Okay. The target attack, then, as he stated, they walked it back from the targeted attack, and then they went back to it being a targeted attack. And then at the end of the hearing, the sentencing hearing, they did the little interview between Bill Thompson, Gilbertson, and Baby Payne. Okay. And they state there that the house was the target and that Brian Koberger could have absolutely just decided to do this right before he did it. There was no premeditation, basically, Bill was trying to say. So how many times did that change within this case, you guys? And again, what did they, going with our theme, what did they personally know about that as far as the targeting? Because he said, just in the last interview, well, we were told there was one target. This has changed like 16 times, you guys. Targeted, not targeted. Targeted, not targeted. The house is the target. There's somebody that's the target. Kaylee's the target. Maddie's the target. Xana's the target. It's changed like 72 times. This is just unbelievably why I've never seen anything like this before. Okay? I never have.
Tell us about the targeted attack.
They have told us that it was targeted, but they told us they can't tell who.
So they told them that it's targeted, but we're not going to tell you who. Why? Why? That doesn't protect the integrity of the case, in my opinion. But okay, I'll give it to law enforcement to do their job, which they didn't do, but okay.
Yeah, specifically. And they said, we'll try to get that information to you. And they got back to us a day or so later, and they said, we're sorry, we can't give you that information. But then a day later, we saw in the news that it was not targeted, or they think the whole house was targeted. But
I'll cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Their means of death don't match.
Maddie's.
Okay, now, this is another new piece of information that we just received recently. Take it, don't take it, whatever you want to do. That their means of death don't match, that their injuries don't match, Maddie's and Kaylee's don't, okay? But we were also told, most recently, that there's four injuries that do match between the two girls. If we believe that, okay? 4 signature injuries with the girls. That they both had, their throats had been cut twice, both of them, and then there was some kind of identical signature type thing on their shoulder, so on and so forth type stuff. So keep that in mind as well, just as a thought.
They don't.
And Kaylee's cause of death, it does not match based on the autopsy report.
They don't match.
Would indicate that one of them.
He doesn't have to go up the steps. Let's stop playing games, guys. I need somebody to step up and be an alpha, be somebody to be a leader. Don't make me do it. I don't want to do it. He doesn't have to go up the steps. Their points of damage don't match. I'm just going to say it. It wasn't leaked to me. I earned that. I paid for that funeral. I paid for that. It's my right. You ain't taking that from me.
Calm down.
If you don't want to say nothing, that's your bet. But don't say I'm leaking anything. I paid that bill. Sent my daughter to college to get an education. She came back in the box, and I can speak on that.
I was also told from sources that are closer to an investigation, because there was a lot of roommates in there. And this was horrific for those roommates that were there as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
The preservation of this crime scene. Witnesses tell me that it may have well been preserved because the phone was passed around between one of the fraternity members and the girls. One of them unfortunately witnessed the death, the body there. Can you confirm that?
We cannot actually. We know nothing about that whole phone call. We've asked, and it's, I mean, I know that a lot of people want to know, but that's just not our agenda. We just are like, somebody called 911, somebody was reported unconscious. We don't really know. I mean, we've heard so many different things and nothing has been clarified or been told to us at all. And I mean, I don't know if I personally have asked anything about that. I don't know if you've asked that, but we know that this is getting 3 weeks in and it's starting to get, we don't want it to go cold. We're reaching out. I've reached out to friends down in California today that have connections that we're hoping to raise some money to get a reward, to get a private investigator.
Third party.
Why go the private route? Do y'all worry that at the end of this week that this case may be
100%.
cold? We're scared.
When you tell me you don't want a photo up there with the reward offering information, that kind of sounds like you're trying to like suppress the story. I mean, why do you not need help? But hey, I could be wrong. And you officers, I apologize if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I want to, please forgive me. Please forgive me. But if you don't have the information, people do know. If they don't, then you know, the community, this is a community that is IT based. These guys live a digital footprint like we've never. All of us older people, we don't know how much that digital footprint could be helpful. So that's what we ask for. I hope like a DNA, family lineage, if they could come out here and just start taking, this town is not that big. We could figure out this, and it might not be him. It might be a family member. We have family all going to the school together. You know, there's cousins, there's aunts, there's uncles. We could find this guy just with volunteers.
Lineage companies were,
Put Idaho on the map.
Christy, Steve, we're going to stay on this case.
Thank you.
We're not going anywhere.
Thank you.
You guys have been candid with us.
Okay. That was again December 4th, 2022, 3 weeks after the murders. And I do have one more that is important, I think, that it was sent to me via email. That one is very interesting. A lot of people knew that one because of the statements he made there. Oh, no, come on. Don't make me do this. I think this is right. Hang on. I hope this will let me do this. Maybe. Damn it. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. If it works. Oh, thank God. Okay. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Whitney. Very much appreciated. This is the one that we wanted to get to. Very, very interesting, and it's very telling. And this will be the final one we have to review, and then we'll discuss it all up to this point. And I'll get you out of here. The last one, yeah, Tomboy, right. Now, this is the one Eddie was talking about where they said, we got to get it right. We got to get it right at the very beginning. I don't know if it's going to show up in this or it was clipped, but we did catch it originally, so.
T-I-G-O.
Okay. Can make sure we can hear it. Thank you so much, Whitney.
right now?
Yeah.
My name is Christy Goncalves, K-R-I. Right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
My name is Christy Goncalves, K-R-I-S-T-I-G-O-N-C-A-L-V-E-S.
Yeah, I'm Olivia Stevenson, Aliviastevenson. Gonzalez is my maiden name. I'm married.
My name is Tammy Butts, Tamibuttz.
Good. You guys good? Everybody good?
No, on here.
Which one?
You because okay, we'll have to run it.
Oh, there you go.
You gotta get it right. Don't get mad.
We got to get it right. Don't get mad, is what she just said there. Wow, this is the good one. Thank you, Whit.
Oh, there you go.
You gotta get it right. Don't get mad.
I think
Got to get it right. Don't get mad.
we got it on the pickup. Good. Okay, so just first off,
Honestly, I'm really surprised they didn't clip all that out of there, but
the map that just came out from police, it gives a little bit of a timeline of where they may have been that night. Does that map mesh up with the timeline that you've been putting together?
Yeah, I'd say it's very close. I'd say if you have any closer details to kind of hone in, 145 could be very vague. Maybe it's closer to, 150. Let us know if you have anything concrete, because right now concrete's what we can go off of.
In terms of the details, you said it's close. Does that frustrate you that it's close?
I do, but right now we're still trusting authorities that, it's not going to be 20 minutes here or 15 minutes here that's breaking this. But yeah, I implore everyone, if they know something different, bring it to the police, because if they want to tighten up that timeline, we stand with that.
It seems like there's this very big gap when it comes to Ethan and Xana. Do you know where they might have been?
I don't, unfortunately. I know nothing about them.
We have no idea where they were, but we do have a pretty tight timeline on Kaylee and Maddie, and
I'm sorry, you guys. I have this turned all the way up. I think it's the way it was recorded. I can't get it to go any louder. Let me try one more time. Hold on. Yeah, I have everything blasted on this, so I'm so sorry.
it is close to what they are posting, but it is a difference, and that difference actually could be huge. I mean, it could be, it could not be, but 145, 159. So there is, and we have corroborated with my phone records, Keely's phone records, the driver that was driving them around.
So you
really
have,
concrete.
You have pulled video seeing the Uber
Mhm.
driver dropping them off.
Yes.
You've checked your phone records. You know with
Yes.
timestamps what
Yes.
time they got home.
Yeah.
It's not exactly what police are saying, right?
Right.
It's not 145.
Kaylee and Maddie were picked up from their home at 1122 King around 10:15. It's about a 5-minute drive down. So they arrived to Corner Club around 10:20, which is different than what was released at 10. We know that Kaylee called for an Uber at 1:45. He arrived at 1:49, got in the car around 1:50. It's about a 5-6 minute drive. They arrived home at 1:56.
Is it frustrating that your timeline is based on timestamps from videos and phone records, and their timeline doesn't exactly match yours?
I just feel like there's a reason they're just putting it out, the estimate. I don't know, because they do have that information from us, and they've asked us where we have gotten that information, and we have concrete backing. She put it together.
It could be conflicting stories. We just don't know. This is the information
and
that I stand behind.
I think that when they say 145, I think they're kind of referring to the whole group arriving approximately 145. I believe that maybe Ethan and Xana, and I don't know.
So here again, what do the Goncalves know? What did they know? What do they know, right? They were obviously looking into things very early and quickly on. They hired PIs, more than one. Olivia was doing her own investigating, per se, as was Steve. And many other things were going on with this, okay? They were talking to people they shouldn't have been, per se. It just they knew things. They knew things. They know things. Okay. I'm very comfortable believing that they, in my opinion, that probably know the absolute truth to this in the effect that Brian didn't do it and it had nothing to do with it. Okay. I'm comfortable believing that. For a while, I wondered, like Eddie brought up earlier. Okay. We talked about this. This is kind of important. Were they used as a tool to be a mouthpiece for the case? Sure. Of course they were, because they saw that they were very vocal people and very passionate about certain things. So they used that. Okay. But at some point, they knew that was happening and decided to turn it. Okay. But they didn't. They didn't turn it the way they should have. They should have flipped things upside down and said, no, this is not, there was no stalker. There was this, there was that. None of the things that are, everything that's not true, they should have changed to that narrative, but they never did. This is a problem, in my opinion. And as Eddie says, being on board, jumping on the bandwagon and going right along for the ride, even though you know it's wrong. And you're riding along with the people you proclaim such hate for, the prosecutor's office. Explain it. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Okay? It shouldn't be happening. I can't imagine it, but I don't know. Anything to add, Ed, before I go forward?
Just whatever it is has got to be such a powerful force that there's no way to decline it.
Right. Right.
If
Now,
in other words, if it was you in that same situation, we'd all do the same thing.
Sure. Now, there something else that stuck with me in a lot of ways. The text messages between Steve and Brett Norton, okay? Talking about how Dylan and this is after they've already said that the surviving roommates that it's horrible for them too, and they both agree and go, "Oh yeah. Then he has a conversation with Brett Norton and basically calls Dylan such a horrible liar, but that she's protected by her mommy's law firm. Can't go both ways. I'm sorry. So anyway, and then within that same text conversation, it stated that he was threatened by the Mortensen family to shut it down, stop looking over there, or there's consequences. Same with the Showalter family supposedly threatening him. This is what he claims. Is it true? We don't know, but it's still an interesting point to think about, okay? Does this have anything to do with that? If it's true, is this why they're on the bandwagon and on board? I don't know, but I think they know the truth to this. I do. At this point, I do believe they know the truth to this.
Yeah, they do. And keep in mind with what I just said, it's not me giving a free pass. It's not me condoning it, saying it's right. None of that. They're still accountable for their actions, but if it's coercion, if it's a threat, when it comes to money and buying people, I mean, everyone has a price. So it could be, who knows what it is, but you can't deny that whatever's going on it's almost too forceful to decline.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll end up in danger, or you'll pay the price somehow.
And that's exactly the point I'm making. You know what I mean? Very good way to put it too. And again, this is important, guys, to understand what I've been asked this many, many times. That's why we're doing this show today. They go, what do you think? Especially after the book dropped and things like that, before it, so on and so forth. What do you think the G's know? What do you think the G's think? What do you think the G's feel? I've adamantly denied many, many people stating, I think that the G's are involved in what happened. I don't. And I don't like that either. I'll never support that they were involved in what happened to their daughter. I will not support that as far as her dying and them being no. I just personally I can't do it. Okay. Not saying anybody that feels that way, that you're not right, that you're a bad person. None of that. I'm not saying no. I can't support it, is all I'm telling you. So everything else around that, though, around this case with them is it's always bothered me. And even more so now because of things that we're learning and have learned and probably will learn coming down the road. I still feel in my stomach. I'm telling you, there's something with it by summertime. I'm going to give it to July. Okay. By July, this is going to be so blown up. We're not going to be able to breathe, folks. It's going to be that's how busy we're going to be with this. That's just my feeling on it. And if I end up being wrong, then, I'm sorry. But at this point, I do feel so strong about that. So, moving forward. Niles, really? Welcome, Niles. It's good to see you.
May have gotten home around that time, and then the girls obviously 1:59ish is shortly after, so they're just kind of grouping that the group arrived home around 1:45ish.
No. That's not what I'm saying, altruistic. What I'm saying is my gut feeling is that something is going to blow up within the case by July. The G's being innocent as in like they hands-on had nothing to do with what happened to Kaylee. I don't believe that. That's what I'm saying they're innocent of in my mind. That they didn't have anything to do with her death is what I'm trying to proclaim. That's all. I do. It's just me that feels that way. So it's my opinion. It doesn't mean anybody has a difference of opinion is wrong by any means. Please know that. So I don't think they had anything to do with their daughter's death. I've had a lot of people that have come and I've heard say that, and I highly disagree with that. But that's just my opinion. So you guys are welcome to feel how you feel. It is what it is. But I do believe very strongly that they know the truth. They know. Okay. One of the main thing is that they know that Brian is not the one. And that's what my problem is. If you know that, why are you still not telling the truth of that? This woman right here herself said very, very early on, this is somebody that Kaylee knows very well. Never could I ever let that go. Again, like I said earlier, she said it for a reason. It wasn't just to say it. So that's what I'm pointing out.
But they were not together, and we don't know anything about Ethan and Xana. We do know about Kaylee and Maddie.
And some of the time stamping afterwards, that your sister was making calls, right? She was making calls as late as almost 2 o'clock.
Yes.
How do you know that?
So she was on my mom's cell plan. So
we pulled my cell plan.
On Sunday, I was able to pull those cell records.
And you could see that she was calling somebody out. Does it seem like they may have been involved, or does it seem like
no, not at all? Kaylee had no shame in kind of power calling, so it fits Kaylee.
Yeah, and we know who she was calling, and this person is, and this person was asleep. Unfortunately, was not getting the calls, and it was, I don't know, a few calls for half an hour. She called him a couple.
You're talking about Jack Decor
times, but no. It was not. We do not believe she was calling him for help. We believe that she was just calling him to come over. If Kaylee was in imminent danger, her or Maddie, they would have called 911. They would not have been calling this person. Yeah,
and that was
so
at around 2.
Yes, so at that time we
started
believe
around 2:30.
Yeah, we believe that the girls were just fine.
So from those phone records, it looks like the girls may have been alive around 2:30.
2:30 is what the last call.
No, the last call is shortly before 3 a.m.
Sure, yeah, that's right, 2:50 something.
2:52 for both of them.
Yeah.
It's now been 5 days,
right?
And still, no killer, still no motive. How are you guys holding up?
Yeah, I think it's different for everyone. They obviously are, they're the same people to us, but they were different to all of us. To my mom, it was a daughter. To my aunt, they were nieces. To me, they were sisters. And we all had different, very complex and amazing relationships with both of them. So it's going to feel different.
Empty.
Yeah, for all of
was
us.
just home. She just left on Friday. She left on Friday morning to go to a Pi Phi party, and she had just bought a brand new Range Rover, and she contemplated all day long back and forth whether she should go home, and because she just really wanted to show it to Maddie, and some other friends and whatnot. And she was just like, "Mom, I'm gonna go to the Pi Phi party, and Maddie's got to see this my new ride." And I'm like, for sure. Like, I mean, it was nice. It was really nice. She just bought it that day, all her own. And and I talked to the girls on. She had a fun time on Friday night. Both of the girls, and then both of the girls texted me on Saturday.
So you were talking to them Saturday afternoon.
Yes, Saturday afternoon. They sent me pictures of themselves, and Kaylee called me around 2:30ish on Saturday afternoon. And then I was texting Kaylee just randomly on Sunday. And right about those, when I look back at my times that I was texting Kaylee, the police were swarming.
So you were trying to get a hold of her on Sunday morning.
Yeah, just random talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, hey, what's going on? How did you guys do last night? We talked a lot. And she was supposed to be home on Tuesday. She said she'd be home on Tuesday.
We were talking a little bit earlier, but whoever did this is still out there.
Yes.
Do you have a message for them?
Turn yourself in. Stop all this. Let us mourn our children, and we can't when we know this person is out there. You know who did it. You know who you are. Just end it. The guilt has got to be just overwhelming. It's got to be sickening. Stop hiding. Stop running. Just turn yourself in. Just turn yourself in so we could move on. We could bury our girls. We could have a celebration of life for them. And continue to mourn and try the best to start the healing process. But we can't with this person just running around out there. This person's dangerous. And we fear that this person will do this again.
Now that he's done it once, he can definitely do it again.
We have no idea why. None. There's no reason why anyone should have been targeted for any reason.
These were young, beautiful children that were starting their lives, and they were successful, and they were go-getters, and they were strong. There's absolutely no reason for jealousy or anything for someone to take for children's lives like this. Turn yourself in. You owe it to these mothers of these children, these fathers, these families. You're wrong. Turn yourself in.
You said something that I've never even thought of, which is, it's almost the worst nightmare, which is how do you bury your daughter knowing that they could possibly come? It's going to be, the services for these girls will be huge, public. And to think that this person is sitting, there at the church, I can't. You're worried that the killer might show up to their services.
Absolutely. Their candlelight vigils, all of that. It makes me sick that this person could be there, standing right behind us, waving a little candle. It's sickening, absolutely sickening. We're sick. We're just sick. We just want it to end.
It's a living nightmare. Yeah. It's a living nightmare.
Now, in terms of what police have been able to communicate to you, have they been more forthcoming? Are they communicating with you enough?
I think it's an ongoing investigation. I think at the end of the day, I'm not an investigator.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want more information?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
But we don't know if they have
do
it.
I know that they have it, or do I know that they can give it to me? No. So of course I'm frustrated, but I can't necessarily point.
The blonde woman is Christy's sister. Tammy Butts is Kaylee's aunt.
That finger direct.
Based on what you've seen so far, are you confident in their investigation?
I have to be. Right now, I have to be.
We're counting on it.
And I think that it's easy to sit back and say, oh, I would have done this. Oh, I would have done that. But I don't know what they walked into. I don't know what they've done. Are there definitely some things that, I've heard that I wish I hadn't heard about the investigation so far? Absolutely. But right now, I can't. I am frustrated that
It
I don't have
is.
more information.
It is. From my understanding, Mittens, that is who she was
We don't
staying
know.
with.
We don't know. My husband is in contact with them every day, the FBI, Moscow, Idaho State Police, and every day he just says, nothing, babe. And I'm like, nothing? And he's like, nothing. I mean, just nothing. And I don't know if that's because they have nothing or because they're protecting the investigation. So, it's hard to be mad at them if, we just know they're
Or
protecting the
both.
investigation. But it would be nice if they said, we have something, we have a little lead, or we have an idea. And it just gives you a little bit of hope, and I mean,
it is very hopeless right now, I guess, being left without that information.
Yeah, because you can't grieve, you can't feel safe.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And if
I
Kaylee
think-
and Maddie were down there right now in this situation with somebody else, they would be home. I would have told them, and they, I would have been, you girls need to get home now, like yesterday now. So, to families, I mean, I think it's Thanksgiving weekend or is coming up, and most kids are coming home, but there's no way. And there's no way that I would send them back until this person is found. This person, it's an isolated, targeted, incident until it's not. Until this person was angry. This was not just, oh, he got drunk at a party and shot up a party, which I'm not putting anything down to, people.
So at this point, that statement tells us this person was angry. So she knows at this point what happened to Kaylee. Okay. She knows that it was a rage killing, that Kaylee was very much horrifically attacked. Okay. She knows obviously the injuries, the state of the injury. And that's then December 4th, or wait, I'm sorry. I got that date confused. 1 second.
November 18th.
November 18th. Thank you, Eddie. Sorry. This was not a normal YouTube pull up, but okay. Thank you. November 18th. They knew November 18th that this was an angry person that attacked Kaylee. Don't forget that.
People have lost loved ones that way. But this was a very
violent, targeted attack.
And hearing yesterday, hearing the coroner say that one person may have been killed in their sleep. Is that something that you had heard?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's hard, but I guess for us, that kind of just indicates, premeditation, which we've been fighting since the beginning away from this term, crime of passion. I think that comes with a certain connotation that can lead to empathy, and we don't agree with that.
No.
So when you hear them say that someone was killed in their sleep, you think premeditation?
Absolutely. I think it's impossible not to.
And not one, 4. I mean, I don't know if all 4 of them are. We don't really have the details, but regardless,
and that can lead to empathy, and we don't agree with that.
No.
So when you hear them say that someone was killed in their sleep, you think premeditation?
Absolutely. I think it's impossible not to.
And not one, 4. I mean, I don't know if all 4 of them are. We don't really have the details, but regardless, 4 people were stabbed to death.
And premeditation, I mean, like you said, it's
You
very
went into
different.
somebody's
He went into someone's house with a
I'm
knife.
not saying, weeks lead up. I'm not saying months lead up. It literally could have been 20 minutes. I don't know. But
somebody went in there.
This wasn't a fight that, the girls had said something and offhand this occurred. They must have, walked in on vulnerable sleeping
A coward.
kids.
Coward.
And so for what it's worth, I want to run as far from the term of crime of passion as possible, because I think it's weak, and I think it allows him to hide. And I think it gives him an out that he doesn't deserve.
That he walked in and got mad and angry. They were all there together and something occurred and he got mad and, wielded his weapon or whatever. No, this person snuck somehow into the house, whether it was a door, an unlocked door or an unlocked window, but he was not invited. And he came in with a weapon.
To do intentional harm.
With intention, intention to kill.
Intention to kill, exactly. Not even harm, to kill.
Yeah, and not just 1, not 2, not 3,
but 4.
One after another, after another, after another.
And again, that little detail about it shows like there's vulnerability, right? There is the idea that there may have been defensive wounds, but at least one person didn't see it coming.
Right.
As far as we know. We don't know.
As far as we know.
Yeah.
According to what the coroner has said.
Right.
In terms of somebody getting into the house, they keep saying no sign of forced entry.
Right.
Do you think that this was somebody that was known to them?
I think that that's kind of an impossible question. I think it's a very popular house.
As a mother, I feel like they know. I do. I've always felt that way. Nobody has told me that anyway. I just feel it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a college town. It's a small town. I feel the girls knew this person.
But we don't know that.
We don't. Yeah, we absolutely don't know that. I just feel it in my heart that they knew the person, and I've always felt that way. I don't know why, but I've always said they knew him. They knew him.
There it is again. Still hasn't changed. And again, it's very well known. They don't know Brian Koberger, but she never. I mean, at this point, Brian doesn't exist. Still, it's still not good enough. Just saying.
I just don't feel like this was like some rando just driving through Moscow, happened to stop by their house.
I will say they did have a keypad on their front door, and it was a very popular house. So I know for a fact that people who weren't necessarily roommates of the house did have that code. So no sign of forced entry doesn't necessarily mean that they were invited in. That's all I can say.
And the people that survived were on the first floor.
To our knowledge.
Yeah. And then if they come in through the keypad, is it possible to bypass a room on the first floor and go up to the second floor and third floor?
Yes. There's also a door in the back that just leads directly to the middle.
I don't want to put you guys through anymore. I think we're good.
One of our senior producers did have one question. We know it's been tough getting answers from police for everybody. Just what have police told you guys about the investigation? What they found? What's going on?
I think to answer that question, we know exactly what the public knows. We really don't have any further details. And unfortunately, if we did, I wouldn't give them to you guys.
Right.
Just
We
frankly,
wouldn't impede
We're not
the
ready for that.
investigation.
I would
But
never
honest
impede
to
this
God,
investigation.
we don't.
The public needs to know is that there is someone out there that has violently killed 4 people, and that no matter who died first or second or last, they're gone, and we need to get this person now before it's too late for anybody else to suffer what we are suffering for the rest of our lives. He took their lives, but he took them from us. That will never change. We will never let Kaylee and Maddie's memory ever disappear, but that's all we have left, and that's not enough. Done. There's your answer.
There is no other information.
There is no other information.
And unfortunately, you guys will probably hear it first anyways.
Yeah,
before we
right.
do.
Yeah, it's pretty true.
Things leak out there all the time. And we're like, did you see this? Did you see this? Did you see this? We're like, nope.
So
I called my
have been
husband. He's like, I haven't heard
grateful
that.
for, the reporters and stuff that have reached out to me ahead of breaking these stories.
Yeah.
Even if it's only 20-minute heads up, it's nice to be able to process that information as a family first before reading it online.
Blast it out there.
Yeah.
To everyone who has done that, I just wanted to say thank you. I know that if it bleeds, it leads. I get this industry. I'm not stupid. But thank you to those who have done so respectfully and with empathy in their hearts.
Thank you guys. And we'll do the same.
Of course.
Okay. And that's that, guys. That's enough with the videos for today. Again, it seems to me that they know a lot. Okay? A lot, in my opinion. Do they know everything? Maybe not, but I think they know a lot. I think they have known a lot for a long time. Again, my opinion. So, with that said, it's interesting. It's just something to think about going down the road. Down the road. Any last thoughts on that type of thing, Eddie?
On this video, just I think the main takeaway for me was how they are dead set on communicating the one perp theory. And just like Grumpy Toad said, how can anyone with a brain actually think that this was one person? There's just no way.
Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make any sense.
And of course, the state knows that. And notice one consistent thing throughout this entire thing is that the state never came out and said anything. It's always been they use all the actors as the mouthpiece and to get that information disseminated to the public.
Yes.
They're trying to impress, because it's such a hard pill to swallow and it's just so far-fetched. They're trying to impress that it's going to be one person. early on,
Agree.
so that
Agree.
the public has already accepted it beforehand.
And at this point, like I said, I think they know now, going back then to now, they know for sure, in my opinion, it's definitely not him, which kills the one perp theory. So now we know, okay, that if that's the case, okay, let's go with the hair thing that we just found out. If it's a true fact, okay, I'm gonna say it like that on purpose. If it's a true fact, that's still again kills Brian Koberger's theory that he's the one person. No, because there's also hair in the beds of the girls upstairs, folks. Different color from the one that's in Ethan's hand. So if these things are positively true, and at some point I'm going to want to see proof of it, of course, to make sure of that.
But we can just replace that example of forensic evidence with the bloody fingerprint on the slider, or the two unknown males, the bloody handrail, whatever. You pick.
Good point.
At what point will the G family say, that they're abandoning this line of thinking about one single perpetrator?
Yeah. When is enough with that? Exactly. And when that happens, how is it going to happen? One second, guys. I'm sorry. When it happens, when and how is it going to happen? That's my biggest question right there. Truly and honestly. So
we know how the game is played. When it comes to social media, you just don't respond to that post. You don't acknowledge it. You don't comment on that one. Pretend you never saw it, right?
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Yep. Exactly.
That's how it works. Anyway, I hope you guys got something out of this today. I've had a lot of people asking me, like, what about the G's? What do you think they know? What do you think they knew? What are your thoughts on it? So I put this together based off of, after seeing that video, I thought it was a great one to start it with and just to break the discussion with. So I hope you guys got something out of it. I hope you enjoyed it. Eddie, I hope it was, good for you. I hope you got something out of it. I'm sure there wasn't much because you already had it, but
I got a nice new vocabulary word out of it, so I'm good.
Yeah, histrionic. Say it 5 times fast, everybody. Histrionic. Just kidding. Anyway, but yes. So, I think that's going to do it for this show, guys. Don't forget, just in an hour here, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Verdict Room Unfiltered with Jeffrey Gentry, myself, The Last 24, Bronx Tales with Ms. Logan, Typically Unique with Ms. Kim. It's going to be an amazing show. Please make sure to tune in right here at the cafe for the Verdict Room Unfiltered. Get your questions ready, and I am so looking forward to it. Thank you, Eddie, for joining me. As always, I appreciate your input, your insight, and just you yourself, my friend. Everybody else, if I don't happen to see you tonight, I hope you have a great rest of your night. Don't forget to love yourselves, love each other, and please don't change not one thing, because you truly are the beautiful people. Thank you to my moderators. Anybody that chose to donate to us today to support us, thank you so very much. Never, ever expected, but God bless. Very much appreciated, and we will see you very soon, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks, Dago.
The coffee's cold, the final stain. We laid the map out in the pouring rain. No hidden corners left to creep. The dark truth woke while the city was asleep. The evidence lines up straight and true. A perfect picture is empty, closed for the night. We put the darkness back into the light. We'll wipe the counter, set the empty chair, and wait right here for the next secret laid bare. Until the next one.